Welcome to Babylon 5.
Zappers knew you would come.
I think I'll stick my head in the station's fusion reactor.
You have lost much, endured much, sacrificed greatly.
Life's full of mysteries. Consider this one of them.
We are in the process of building the future.
Rangers never fly.
If you go to Zahadu, you will die.
And with that, look at that. First of all, Tickle Trunk, what the fuck? There goes my monetization. No, do not rub your bodies over the like button. Just caress it gently. You gotta ease yourself into that. And with that, look at that sexiness on the page. Those are original books. Those are original covers. And that comes from Adega. I got that from him. I can't wait to read those. Welcome to Babylon 5 Mondays. I know it's been a hiatus with Thanksgiving, burying corpses and all the like. Hello to the chat. I'm gonna bring out my panel and get into some laughs, some fun, and maybe we're going to desensitize Tickle Trunk just enough that he doesn't start throwing weird stuff in the back private chat with all of his ADHD. And the first up we have, of course, the man, the myth, the legend we began with. We got Keith. Hello, Keith.
Hello, everyone.
And next up we have the Rowan Ginger Raven.
Hi.
Next up we have the Adega, the author, and sometimes an outlaw with the brown lantern ring at the ready. How you doing?
Hello.
Hello, sir. And with that, I'm going to bring up Monkey Jeebus, always rustling papers and never muting his mic. How you doing?
Hey.
Oh. Again, is another special guest. First, for always, we got Spookle Trunk.
I promise I will try to be good.
I'm going to put you closer to Keith. You already lied to me. You already lied to me, man. And with that, we're back. Thank you, chat. I'm going to come out and let's see who's in the chat. First of all, I see is we have a Polymaze Minion. Thank you for being a member and supporting my channel, not just through Babylon 5, but every game stream where it pretty much is turning to Yelling and Explorer. We have Tickle Trunk saying hello. We have Jane Theory in the chat. New face. Thank you for joining us. We have myself. Hey, hi, Self. Drop dead. We have Six from Midnight's Edge Raid. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Tom and Andre. We have a new member or an upgraded member, Arwen Avalon. Thank you for becoming a Fridge Raider. I will hit you with the video in just a little bit. Sir Persalot, hello. And I hope that helmet doesn't cause chafing. Why? Who's clapping every 30 seconds?
It's me.
All right. Howard quickly says also, Darius and I are taking bets on how long it'll take memes to show up. There is a poll. If you don't know the joke, you'll eventually get to know it over the weeks to come because we need to be on a Timex. Who else do we have in here? We have Archer Colin asking whether or not it's Earth time or memes time. It's Earth time because that's what Babylon 5 is, Earth time. Who else do we got here? Hi, Six. I see you as well. Yep. And that's about it. Greet to the chat. Everyone will come in later. Monkey Jeebus you're adopted? What?
No, because Tickle Trunk said that you're not my real mom. So I said you're adopted.
And with that, thank you for upgrading your membership and supporting this channel. And for you, you'll just get everyone's personal favorite. No. Give me money. And with that, that's pretty much the best one.
That never gets old.
It never does.
It doesn't.
And I want to say,
you did that because they don't have those ATMs anymore.
I know, and I just want to say it's nice to see you all again.
Hi.
I hate missing a week, and I'm glad to see you all back on the panel. And I don't know why I brought Tickle Trunk on. I'm still trying to figure that out.
I don't even know why I'm here.
Well, you begged me. You were like, please, Steven, let me creep out Keith. Let me just do it. I got love poetry from 3 different Shakespearean poet shows. English left about an hour ago.
I'm not very articulate. This is exactly what I said.
Yeah, this stream was brought to you by Hooked on Phonics. One day we'll have a full sentence. And other than that, episodes 7 and 8. 7 8. Exogenesis and Messages from Earth. 2 good episodes, kind of different, kind of body snatchers, and kind of more building into the lore and how far the darkness has touched the universe. Where do we want to go first, Keith, as we welcome more into the chat with awkward conversation and my inability to get a sentence out in 5 seconds? Hello, Daryl.
Wow. You know what? We can go ahead and start with Exogenesis. More of a, it's kind of a pseudo kind of Halloween type episode in a way.
You have a message.
Yep. It's better than the actual Halloween episode.
There's Halloween episode?
Oh, the one where he gets trapped down with the weird. I think
No.
There's like a metaphorical.
There was a guest director for a very famous guest director, and it doesn't really fit with the show, but it's technically a Halloween episode.
Well, but I mean, they have some people that you could associate. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I guess I never noticed. It was all very canon feeling and not holiday to me then.
Well, I mean, this is one of those episodes where you can definitely tell, at least with J. Michael Straczynski, that he's a science fiction fan and he likes having fun with certain episodes that allow you to do something just a little different. I think the entire episode's good. It's a solid episode, and one of those that if you were turning on the show for the first time might be kind of interesting to watch. So
I kind of agree. First of all, I want to give a shout to a new name in the chat. We have Sugary Creep. Hello, love your avatar. And I kind of agree. Before we get into the episode, I think we owe a moment of not just signless laughter and a little bit of uncomfortability for this man right here. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who not only wasted money on synthetic roses, shot himself down before it even began.
I know, 40 credits too.
A whole 40 credits, and man, that guy, he looked, he was like a lost puppy in that, and he was like, Ivanova, I just want to rat everyone out that I agree with the Earth politics. And then, bam, you're gone. You like cock blocked yourself with this one reply, and you just see Ivanova go, no, I'm out, and it was great. So
good. Is he saying to impress her?
Yeah, you know what?
A thing for her.
Joshua was a really cool dude to meet.
Mm-hmm.
So he's actually from my state, and I got a chance to meet him at an event many years ago. But really cool dude. In fact, did
he buy you roses, Keith?
No.
I would feel kind of ripped off. That would be our first thing to you. Where's my roses? Because that'd be an ongoing joke every con I met the man. Shane Nolan, hello, sir. How are you doing? We have another one in here. I saw not so Archer calling again. How are you doing? Fat Steven, clever story, leading you to think that something bad is happening, but with an interesting switch. That is true, because in the way it's pretty much trying to go through who they can trust and who they can't trust. They want the command structure to be a little bit more solidified. They want to make sure that when times get rough, they have enough people to rely on, and not just from the outside forces, but the inside forces affected by outside forces. It's a whole cycle of just spider webs and mischief.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spider webs and creepy violin noises.
Oh wow. Yeah, this is one of those episodes where you also get a chance to see, how well in this case Dr. Franklin does with Marcus. And again, another rendition of two other people I had a chance to actually meet and interact with. And what you saw in this episode was a lot of what it was like to hang out with those guys.
Yeah. Must have been horrifying.
Well, as far as their relationship and how they talk, how they, how they discuss things. So
they became fast friends.
I think this was
after this show.
I think
when they met after they met on set.
I agree, but I think this was also a test of the characters in general to see which characters would would like mold together perfectly, like not like a Starsky and Hutch, but the way who would feed off them best, not only for the show's benefit, but how they actually interact off and on the set. And Marcus and Franklin do have that chemistry, but at the end of the day, Franklin and Garibaldi nail the chemistry.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Ship them. I'm kidding.
There's different kinds of chemistry. Because I would think that Franklin and Garibaldi are both very extroverted, and then Marcus is very introverted. So you have that kind of clash, but then they're very similar.
Yeah, but that's because Marcus's character is very, very, very good with people, and you really get to see that in this episode.
Mm-hmm. But then so is Franklin, so that's why they get along.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Franklin's also a little anti-dad man still at this point. Like, I know there's a little reconciliation, but he still doesn't believe in the principles that his dad tries to push on him if we go back to season 2 and those things go down.
Oh, yeah, kind of. I see what you mean.
That could be the cause of the introvert in a way. He's introvert with people and maybe command and structure, but he also wants to have the ability to explore the universe, medicines and cures and everything and the like at the same time.
Oh, I didn't say Franklin was introverted. I'd say he's very extroverted. He's very assertive. Marcus is very introverted. He just observes and then mingles.
I was having a Mumberry moment. My bad.
Sorry. But their banter is fun when they kind of have to make quick decisions, and then it's not quick because they're bickering. It's fun.
Oh yeah, I agree. But
this episode married already.
I think they were. Garibaldi and Franklin did get married. Remember that later on in the future.
This is a really cool episode that introduces us to a species that personally I would like to see in the new version of Babylon 5. I would like to see if they could
predate shadows.
Yeah, they're extra creepy because they look like bugs.
Now, the questions I had for anyone here, especially Keith and Adega, since you guys have, and maybe even Tickle Trunk here, do they predate the shadows and the Vorlons, but do they predate the first ones?
I don't think they predate the shadows.
Are you sure?
They said 500 million, not over like a billion.
I misunderstood.
Because the shadows are the oldest of the first ones. Or sorry, they're one of the oldest of the first ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But they do have a long memory, and they
also do die, which is something that the first ones don't do. So they do mention that part about them. I appreciate that they use practical effects in the show and then kind of very simple CGI, very, very simple because it doesn't look terrible. But the practicalness makes it hold up really well.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, with the Vendrizi though, is it that they die if they die if they don't find a suitable host in time? But in other words, they're pretty much the progenitors of not only here I have the line right here because I actually saved it because I liked it hit me. Keepers of the past, present, and the future. And I think that's why they need to find suitable hosts. They're like a symbiote in a way, not like the Venom or Carnage symbiote we're used to, but they're pretty much historians based off the culture they are symbiosis with and how they move on to a next race and not only experience what they've done, they work together. The body doesn't get to die or die from whatever things, it's accepted, and the Vendrizi get to live on, sharing the memories of everything they've experienced before. That in itself is brilliant. Like being able to see a supernova in your mind, not even have to be there.
I forget the kind of tree it is, but they live on other trees. It's a positive feedback loop kind of relationship. So aside from whatever possessed them initially to be aggressive and then get talked out of being aggressive because that's the nature of the show. No spoilers, but it happens. And that's kind of what the the conclusion and their initial goal in their relationship is a positive feedback loop.
Yeah, in many ways, kind of like soul hunters, but I don't want to say less creepy because what they do is still kind of creepy in a good way. But
like the Trill in Star Trek.
Say what?
Weren't they more like the Trill in Star Trek? How it was more like a joining of the people.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And this is more of a permanent thing.
Here's something for the nerds that have seen Excalibur as well. Those of us who know that the plague ends within the first year, or about the first year of that series. I could see them as finding these guys and using them to find out where the answer for the plague was, because they've been around and seen what the shadows have done for eons.
Ooh, yes. Yes.
Like they said, they're the keepers of the past, present, and future. So they've already lived through the Great War once.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
Probably multiple times.
Well, they've seen other worlds fall to that plague as well.
Also, again, I bring up also another race to use for that kind of information would probably be the Soul Hunters, or at least they would know how to get that information.
Right.
So,
the best part
Jurasik would be easier.
But the best part is that they're being perceived as some type of parasite, that they're actually hurting people, and they're not understanding. Like, even Franklin is a generalization. Even Marcus at one point, they're not understanding that literally the entities themselves are communicating in a way where it's like, we're still here. The other person we are hosting is still here as well. But we are trying to say, like, we are doing this for survival, and they have to be willing at the same time. And people who, like, we get to the point where, like, well, then why did this person die? They died because they had an excess of chemicals we are not used to, and our bodies could not take it. It has to be, I believe, an acceptance of symbiosis, not just pick and choose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And,
You're right.
and Franklin does become very diplomatic at the end. And explaining, okay, so fine, we're going to do it my way, or it's not going to happen at all, essentially. And he's not crude about it. He's just, he's very scientific, compulsively scientific.
Mm-hmm. He's a doctor.
Yeah, it is kind of like a Star Trek episode in that way,
It's like a mix of the. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I was just going to say, it's kind of like a Star Trek episode, but done in a Babylon 5 fashion.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Nice and creepy.
They look freaking creepy. God, they look like a cross between an earwig and a centipede.
Yeah, they are. But I was thinking that the concept is a little bit like the Trill from Star Trek, mixed with the Gold from Stargate.
I'm gonna hope not like a Trill, because those things should not reproduce.
A quick button quickly. We have Zax, not only a member and a mod to the channel, who will eventually join us one day on stream when he wants to. Hello, did I beat memes here? Everybody beat memes here.
Memes from 2 weeks ago beat memes here today.
And literally the poll right now, you know who's winning? Tomorrow. Tomorrow. I should have just put Timex at this point. Archer Collin quickly says, come to think of it, the Vidrizi would make an excellent framing for an anthology series. They would. Like, if they did Lost Tales from the Vidrizi, we have lived millions of years. We have seen wars, civilizations rise, falls, even celestial beings crack. Like, it would be perfect. And you could have the narrative that what are you laughing at?
I think Keith climaxed for the second time on the show.
Yep. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Wow, guys.
There you go. Keith, you can open a new sub-channel called Pop Culture Field.
Wow.
Wasn't Duncan?
Hey, my birthday's tomorrow. I'm going to be a little bit of a facetious ass. I can do it.
When are you not,
Wasn't
though?
Duncan
That's
also,
the truth. That is the truth.
Yeah.
Wait till tomorrow. Today will be like nothing.
Oh, man, this is a trick. Come on, man. It went up my nose.
I'm sorry, nose.
And that's why I like talking. Someone give him a cigarette. I don't think he needs a cigarette. I think he needs like a icy hot patch at this point.
So you're saying he's in pain?
Oh, I don't know.
That's not good.
I don't know. But I would like to say this. Yes, we are his friends. God, I missed you guys. Yeah, but I'll get this on the screen because people are getting creeped out by it. It's not like it's a sushi bar. Kind of looks like it.
This episode feels a lot like an X-Files episode on more than one level. Not just because of some of the visuals, but also the music.
Did you? I was hoping.
I didn't even notice the music.
They used that really creepy violin noise a few times that you hear on the X-Files when something weird's happening.
I couldn't get past the X-Files intro because that's creepy music. So.
Well, not that.
True story. My parents used to not let me watch X-Files because they said it would be too scary for me.
My dad would have absolutely let me watch it. Like, he'd sit there and I'd leave the room because I couldn't handle the intro. And I'd just start having a panic attack.
Shane says, yes, I was late myself. I voted an hour on memes. Good luck. What is that bass? Holy crap. Is someone going Barry Manilow in here? That was weird. So what else in here? Like, well, okay, we got parasites. We got a kid pretty much on the command deck trying to be like, oh, Ivanova.
He got a promotion, and the intro's his party, and they kind of set the stage for some tension with Ivanova and Marcus. And you get to hear Franklin be all nerdy about science stuff, because that's totally the plot of the episode anyway. And I would say that Sheridan's a little grumpy, but then totally notices what Ivanova's avoiding, even though everyone else is oblivious. And Garibaldi's kind of just there. Like, this is absolutely... He's, like, not even in the episode. He might as well not have been at the party.
Wait, wasn't he in this episode when he was having that conversation with Jakar?
He is, but he's not, like, front and center, because Franklin and Marcus are front and center in a way that's same but different.
I can agree with that, but at the same time, I think that the whole pretense of having him just interacting with Jakar is trying to rebuild the friendship and trust, because it's related. It's actually related to the book that he handed him before he went full psycho lawnmower man.
I forgot that.
On Londo, he's like, "You'll tell me everything. Haha, you got this job because you're a joke." And I think, but like that's good. He looks different. He feels pleasant. He looks solidified. Jail time has done him not only well on the inside, but for his soul. That's the best thing about Jakar. He has seen a defined path that is no longer attached to hate, but the preservation of his people.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like the first imagery we're getting of Jakar in that one. It might be a short series. It's like a short scene. Like I agree. Mm-hmm. But there's something, I believe there was something else there. He just sounds different. He's not in mourning. He's not feeling lost, like he has nowhere to go. He's not trapped. He's in a cell, yet he's not trapped.
He's just sitting smiling.
I give a lot of credit to Kosh for that, not the jail cell.
Oh, the best part was we got a petition. Please stop fucking singing.
Right?
Those are gonna sound like we're torturing you in here.
Wasn't Duncan the doctor from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
The actor? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, he was the one that. It's like where he tells Frank that his best friend, when he was locked up in the loony bin, Froggy, was actually him, and then he tries to catch him with a net.
Never saw the show, so
I don't think I've seen that episode.
He was
but I'll
saying that he was certified donkey brains.
There's a disease for that.
Yes, the same actor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yarn apparently is his name in the credits.
I did not know that. I haven't watched
Yarn the Frog Kid. It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good to know. You came with.
I knew that was familiar. I needed to look up the frog thing. I found it. Sorry.
Yeah, private channel. Okay.
Monkey Jeebus? Yes.
Yeah. I am not playing your plucking violins, whatever the hell that is. That is weird.
I'm trying to figure this out. R1 Narn Opera clears the sign. I don't want to know. I just I don't know.
Is that like a Navage?
This stream is brought to you by Rosebud.
Oh.
Wow.
Mean. So mean.
I did that so quick.
And he thought he was joining the Peace Corps.
It's not
I like that they have the same actor essentially in that role, and then the promotion through the entire series. I think that's very, even though he's just like in maybe a tenth of the series, but that's really cool that they do that, and I appreciate it. And he's like
Joshua said that he had a lot of fun being on the show, and at the time that I met him, I think he was still working on it. And he said it was the most interesting part was, what the audience doesn't see.
Yeah, I mean, he's in the background, I think, throughout the entire series.
Yes.
And it has a few episodes where he talks and does something of any significance. I think this might be the only one where he has like a plot But he's fun. He's enjoyable that they have that level of consistency.
Sugary Creep goes, the music is really good, bro. Oh, thank you, brah. And then we have Archer Khan with a two-parter says, JMS wrote the first half of this episode before coming down with a severe fever. By the time he'd recovered, he says he didn't remember where he originally intended the story to go. 102. 202 says, and so the first part of the script read like it had been written by someone else. That's the best point. He was in a zone that wasn't his own, but it was still him. I wasn't trying to rhyme either.
I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Nerdporeal Lifeform, hail and hello. How are you doing? Jester of Sin, thank you for not only being a mod member and friend. You're now on Sloth, so that's why you're. Yeah, okay, that's good, man. And with that, Rosebud.
Oh God.
We have 16 people in the chat. Thank you for being here. This was a fun episode. I'm gonna say it had a lot more in it than we get in most. It was all over the place.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's paced well.
It is. It's very paced well.
Yeah, even though I mean, so much so you can forget small parts.
Again, this is also a good episode that if someone that had never seen Babylon 5 before, this is an easy episode to just actually sit down and watch and enjoy. Of course, we are 4 episodes from when things really get interesting, but that's just me. That's just me.
The roller coaster is about to go over the peak.
Oh, geez, yes.
Sorry, 3 times on stream now.
3.
Keith
3.
is okay. Let's just
Wow.
Keith, try biting down on a wallet when you do that. It might help.
Wow.
I promised I would try to be good. The keyword is try.
Yeah. He didn't say
to underail things. This is actually my personal. It might shock you all. This is my least favorite episode. I don't. This is my least liked episode in the whole series. Because like what Keith said, it's kind of good to sort of, if you don't know anything about the show, to sit down and watch it, because it's not really, to me, it's not connected directly to anything, even though the story is sort of like, we have information, something bad's going to happen, we want to go away and preserve it, kind of thing. But
like all the subplots are connected, but the main plot is like, why?
Yeah, to me, the main plot is too detached.
Yeah, it's just gross and creepy. But
my opinion of the episode's actually gone up since you started talking about it today. So
well, I mean, I think the next episode then gets you back into the kind of plotting that those that have been following the story for a while, like Messages from Earth, really gets everything back on track. So
it not only gets everything on track, it starts showing how far the influence of the last Great War went. And we're not going into it now. No, we're going to save that one, because the beginning of that episode is not only brilliant, it's funny, because it actually connects to the last part of Exogenesis in a way. And yeah.
Well, I mean, the end of this episode is funny. How far those flowers make the rounds. How it plays into kind of what Marcus ultimately wanted to start.
Those flowers touched more hands than a TikTok thought.
And obviously she seemed to really like him, so obviously he was headed the right direction with those flowers. So,
but did you guys have any favorite moments of this episode, just in general? We already covered Captain Rosebud.
This scene right here, the Shakespeare part, I actually really liked.
I do too. I like that.
I also liked how they were having that communication where they're like, I want to speak to the man behind the parasite, because they're still calling him a parasite or insinuating it's a parasite. I want to know what they said. And then when you actually hear it, you can actually understand his life is messed up. And this is a new chance, not only at life, but to experience. And he even shares it, to experience something that he would never see in his lifetime. And that life form is giving it to them. Like, can you imagine just having that experience? Just like being able to see the universe that they have seen already or experienced just in your mind in a flash of a thought, and be like, who needs mushrooms? I got this.
Well, I mean, I can assure you that Sometimes you don't need drugs for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes just medical issues can cause stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. But you're saying, Dega, what about you? You've been pretty quiet. What you got anything to add? I know you're a B5 aficionado, like Keith there, and always showing off your collectibles.
Well,
You need your fix? Is that what you're
and
asking?
sharing. I always share my treasures. This I agree with him on this scene, Shakespeare and all, but it wasn't so much how it was written, but as much as how it was acted. I like the way this character here portrayed his part. He did it so well, and it was just really believable.
He played not only a man that was possessed, but a man that also still knew Marcus. And when you're hearing this scene, like, I remember you, Marcus. You were kind. You were a good friend. And that, I think that's where the turning point of Marcus changed, where he was actually hearing the fact that not only is this life form respecting the host, but it's not trying to commandeer it. It's there for a ride, so to say, like an Uber, but it's there to also return whatever it can from its experiences.
Yes, it's a positive feedback loop.
Yeah,
exactly. It's a scientific thing.
It's meant to help them also improve their lives, and both of them get something out of it. So
it's how to feel. Like they even said it in the show. It's how they feel. A personal purpose rather than helping other people with their problems.
Das Wolfen, hail to you. I hope you're having a great day.
Hail, brother Das.
Yes, I'm so glad you guys are all here. Like,
hey, Das.
Whoever I cut off, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Again, I think my favorite scene really is what Ivanova does with the flowers at the end. That's my favorite scene.
I like that Rosebud got away scot-free, and he didn't even have the balls to tell how he felt. He thought he was shot down for a romantic occasion. It was like, Ivanova doesn't share real coffee with everyone, Keith. Come on.
Again, I think, in my personal opinion, I don't know if it was so much that as it was just the shock of, first of all, being invited to her place to talk. Forget everything else. I mean, with what you've seen Ivanova do over the last 2 to 3 years, I think there was a part of his brain that just was still in shock. So
wondering if he was going to survive the experience.
Pretty much.
As much as this felt like an Alien Encounters or X-Files, it was very a homely episode. It was very station-oriented. It was very... Like I said, it was all over the place, whether it be the command deck, lower decks, personal quarters. It was everywhere, and nothing felt out of place. And if it was because of the fever, damn, that motherfucker needs to have more fevers. I have a fever.
What if it was like Kopi Luwak coffee?
The whole thing is, he's like Ivanova is giving him like Rosebud the little hints here and there. Like when I'm gonna bring Rosebud up for a second, but when he's bringing up Rosebud for a second, it's literally because he's like, sometimes you got to bend the rules, sometimes you need to do this and this. She's literally giving little hints to see where his allegiance lies, and he's missing the mark every time. He's like, it's like the guy at a strip club going, I like pigeons. Yeah, pigeons. And they're like, oh, it's going to happen tonight. No, she just want your money. You're not getting the whole point. Just trying to see where your allegiance lies and when they can trust you with what's actually going on, because most of the crew don't know what's going on. And I feel sorry for him at the same time. He's like, I'm going to get some Ivanova. No, you're going to get the door. And he got the door.
I also think, in a way, he's kind of relieved at the end of the entire thing, So, again, it's I think everyone in CNC is used to Ivanova being kind of standoffish, being very professional, being someone who probably spends a good portion of her day probably either yelling at someone or getting ready to yell at someone.
Yeah, well, that's why she's so good at her job. She's not afraid to be a hard ass when she's on the clock.
That's right. And so I think he really was just thrown off by the entire encounter. I mean, forget the whole romantic, quote unquote, aspect. I think he was completely just thrown off, and as far as just even wanting to hang out outside of CNC.
Yeah,
you know.
But at the same time, it also comes down to like he wasn't the only one thrown off. When later on in the episode where Ivanova and Sheridan are just shaking the head, and you see Sheridan, it's like, God damn, because they're still under the pretense, even though they don't know that the guy doesn't really know, he doesn't know it's a test. They feel like, I'm gonna say this is my assumption, that Night Watch has infected more people than we know.
Well, no. I think in the case of Corwin, it's just the fact that you have a young man whose career is just starting out. I don't know if it was so much Night Watch as it is just the fact that from an outsider's point of view who does not understand what's going on.
Yeah.
You've got a young man here who's just starting his career out, and you're asking him to basically join you in doing something that could probably either get you court-martialed or killed.
Well, that's the whole thing, though, for actually looking at the whole aspect. For those that have been with us since we've gone through the seasons and the episodes and our shows, it's also coming to the point now where the people, you got President Clark claiming this, and that, this, and that, and you're sitting there, and it's up to people's making up their own mind. But it's like we look at current events, we're persuaded by what we ever see on media, how much we want to keep our own opinion, and how much it is swayed by just the neighborhood story down the block. And I think it's a test of faith at this point.
It's also a theme James likes to talk about too, like because The Prisoner is his favorite sci-fi show. He raves about it all the time when you ask him about it, like his influences. And that show, one of the main themes of that show is sort of like doing the right thing, not going along with the crowd, regardless of what's going on. Especially if what they're doing is, immoral.
I would like to quickly add, everyone remember that Keith usually sits outside on a treetop watching J.M. Straczynski with a bottle of wine.
Oh my god.
I remember every joke we ever do mostly.
Wow.
Yes, friends. Archer Collins says, Shane Nolan and Tickle Trunk, the idea of organic technology crosses and symbiosis does seem to be a bit of a theme. Vorlon ships, for example. I think it's more shadow ships because they're more integrated than anything else, but we will learn that later on. I think there is a biotech.
In the next episode, yes.
We even see that in Star Trek. What was it? What was the ship with the dude that could talk to the ship that was like...
Iron Man.
That's
the name of the ship, and I think it's real name. Gum2, yes.
Yeah, and that one was a good one because it was literally a ship that, like, you just wiped out those ships. I'm like, no, I told it to protect itself. There's a difference. And it's even the simplest things, especially when it comes to life forms that are literally traveling the universe, even the biomechanical or whatever, they don't understand the full forms of language sometimes. And Morley took what was it, empath or telepathy with that character? I can't remember his name. You know what I'm getting at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, empath just means you can feel their feelings, and telepath means you can read their mind. So
now a quick hail. I want everyone in the chat to give a belated happy birthday to Jace. He has finally reached the age to drink and leave Sweden. So happy birthday, a belated birthday to Jace.
Happy birthday.
Try it as an adult.
Welcome to alcohol. Cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
Oh, dude, my fridge is full. Let's go, Brandon. Yeah, pretty much. Let's go, Vorlons. Let's go. And Tam Elbrin. Thank you. Elbrin was a Betazoid, so it was actually within the telepathic. Thank you. I couldn't remember the name. I knew it was simple.
No, I can only remember the name of the ship. I never remember the character's name.
When I saw it, it made me feel like I was looking at a baby version of the Doomsday Weapon from the TOS. No one knows what I'm talking about.
The windsock, the paper mache windsock,
the cone condom. Yes, that one. Yes,
yeah, it's a paper mache windsock.
Okay, he is now officially 14.
Oh man!
All right, I've done my good deed for the day. I'm good with it. The Space Cornucopia. Yes, that's definitely right. We got look at that. There you go. But this episode was good. It was fun. Oh my god. I wish I could find a picture of Jakar. The whole thing. Have you read the Jakar yet? Not really.
You know,
but I'm getting around to it.
That's very much reminiscent of letters from a Birmingham jail.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where you had Jakar seeing this experience and having it be something that changes him. Now, as someone that knows what's coming for the character all the way to the end of the series, yes, this episode and what you saw was the beginning of a lot of great changes to the character. I mean, it's a true difference to the Jakar that you've known up to this point.
Jakar is a man of focus. This has completely shifted his focus.
Hold on a quick second, Keith. I gotta do this. Fucking hell! And Sweden? I'm not from fucking Sweden. Birdie, Sweden. Only good metacore and hot girls. I'm kidding. You're welcome. Thank you. Meatballs.
Birdie muffin.
Today on your 13th birthday, you have become a man, Jace. I'm not even doing this anymore, Jace. I'm not. I just lit the flames, bro. I just lit the flames. But I hope you had a great day. I know we all got that crow statue, and I hope your stream was fantastic. And the reason why
rock on, Jace.
Yeah, man. He has places to go and sweets to hug.
Ouch.
Sorry. I'm not hating on the Doomish Day machine. I actually like that not only that mission, but I like that that event we can do within Star Trek Online, where you literally have the original Scotty making up those bombs they have to put in the way of it before it destroys that space station. I do like it. I never hated on it.
The Doomsday Machine was made out of a windsock. That's why I call it the windsock.
All right. Now, Keith, this picture's for you, and you know why. Every man looks pretty after getting back.
Keep them. Thank you.
I will.
That's probably one of the nicest things she's ever said to him.
Yep.
I mean, come on. It's Ivanova.
Kate, are you back?
Yes, I've been here.
What do you think of Marcus so far? As someone who hasn't watched the show until now.
Oh, you mean like I finished the series? He's very.
Oh, you did?
endearing.
Okay, I didn't.
Yeah, like months ago.
Damn.
Yeah,
So you just ran the whole thing.
Anyway, he's very endearing and fun. I'm just honestly curious how much bow staff martial arts he was taught for real, or is like just make it up. Like that's the only thing that bothers me. Like this doesn't feel authentic enough for me, but like I've seen things where people know what they're doing. So
yeah, Babylon 5. Space combat is good. The hand-to-hand is always lacking in the show, unfortunately.
Oh, come on. Marcus is secretly a Ninja Turtle when you're seeing with his staff work. We'll get that later on.
Oh, man.
Okay, fine. And I'll do this for you.
No.
There is one time when the hand-to-hand actually was pretty good, and I'm trying to remember the name of the episode, but it has to... I think it's in season 5, when one of the on LeShock has to get some hands-on training after he had the crap beat out.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That seemed like that was definitely choreographed by a professional, whereas most of the stuff, it's like, just don't kill each other.
Well, whoever was acting it out knew, because I could tell by the stance, the way his shoulders and arms were, that guy knew martial arts.
Right, that's what I mean. Like, they knew what they were doing in that episode.
When Sheridan was beating up the assassin guy, it was like, I was like, oh, this is so sloppy.
Yeah.
You have to remember though, it's 90s television, and especially with sci-fi, they're focusing more on the sci-fi than they are the fighting. So like, I think the way we look, I'm not saying you guys this is compared to you guys, but if we look at it, how we have films and stuff now, they probably didn't have an expert choreography team with the budget they had, especially in a hot tub warehouse.
I understand that. It's like hardly a critique because I'm aware.
No, it's not. I didn't mean it like that. My apologies. I didn't mean it like that. But yeah, I agree. A lot of the fighting scenes were kind of weird.
This one was better than the first time you see him fight, though.
Yeah.
The very first time he pulls out the fighting pike, it's atrocious. This was passable.
See, the brilliant thing I can say about Marcus, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that he has such a lovable personality. He's right up there with Jakar in that tier. Him and Jakar have that personality and charismatic approach that just drives you in, because he has a sarcastic value to him, but it doesn't sound condescending at the same time. You asked for this, and I gave you this.
Oh, I disagree. I think Jakar's very condescending.
Well,
I don't mean that bad.
No, I know what you
he
mean.
is, but I doesn't make him dislikable to me.
He becomes less condescending.
How about this?
Yeah,
he's condescending yet welcoming.
Yeah,
that works. Yeah. Holy shit!
I got an important announcement.
Clobbering times. Avon Lips. How you doing, clobbering?
Hey, I do have an important announcement, though.
Important?
Those important announcement. And it has nothing to do with Crisco.
Fuck, man.
Those who voted for the first half hour and memes just lost.
He did. He did. So far, the winning in the poll is tomorrow. God, I love Kate. You came with a great idea for that poll.
I've got 15 minutes until I'm wrong.
I don't think memes even remembers there's a show today.
Clobby, if you want an invite on, let me know, brother. It's very honored to see you here, as well as a comic book roundtable veteran. If you want an invite, let me know, sir.
I recently found Clobbering Times Saturday streams of going through Star Trek TNG. I think all the Star Treks, I believe, they're going through right now. That show is insanely fun.
And Brett Cohen, nice to see you in here in the chat as well. You voted for an hour, Thoth. You're going to be very disappointed. Hail, bro. Hail to the panel. Thank you. Shout out to the panel. What does Steven have you on to suck you into this? My charismatic bullshit. That's pretty much what it is. I am not real in the slightest. All I do is give compliments and put brown lipstick on so no one can find the shit on my lips after I kiss everyone's ass. That's what I do.
He pays me in Crisco. I have lots of
You pay
cookies.
me in import fees. What are you talking about? These people are great. I'm glad I found such a great group. It started off with just an idea of doing a show, and now we're like months in, and we have 19, sometimes 20 people here. We've had Patricia Tallman on in the past. I want to have her back on again, and other staff. Babylon 5, if you've never watched it, give it a shot. It might find a special place in your heart, and it brings people together.
And import fees.
Oh, fuck you! Stop stealing my joke, you grifter!
I learned from the best.
I ended up watching a few episodes. I mean, I did my own kind of, mini run of episodes yesterday, and I just found myself just getting right back into it and just enjoying it all over again. And it's one of those shows that once you really get into it, it's so much fun.
Oh my God.
And let me at least say this much. This episode, Exogenesis, if you were to take the script and turn it into a script by just changing the names and turning it into a script for Star Trek Discovery, would instantly become the best episode they ever had.
Well, yeah, all you have to do is not drool and shit yourself and you have the best episode.
I hate to say this, but can we please not tarnish Babylon 5 with any talk of All right, and Clobbering says, Steven, thanks, bro. I would love to, but I'm going back out on the road. But I'm always lurking. Never miss this great stream. That means a lot to me, brother. It does.
Yeah.
Don't make me cry, you. Oh, look who showed up, motherfucker! Who had the timer? Who won the ladder?
I won.
All right.
It's within the hour.
It's within the hour. So, ladies and gentlemen, the poll.
I won by 12 minutes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, memes arrived with a 33% tie with tomorrow. Whoever voted for an hour, memes of destruction has not only arrived here, but I can now finally go home. Bye all. Fuck this.
Hallelujah.
And ladies and gentlemen, turn down your volumes, cover your mics. Ladies and gentlemen, memes of destruction has finally made it here.
The power too sweet to be sour. You like a monkey? Ooh, yeah.
What the fuck? No, you shaved your beard. No. That's not memes. What the hell happened, memes? Bring it back on camera. It's your time.
What are you talking about? oh,
so your
are people's
avatar is now
mind
alive.
playing tricks on them? Because all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's kind of a caricature
them-
of the bearded dude we've kind of seen over the past half year.
Put
And
the beard on.
who the heck
And
is
then-
that?
Yeah,
Probably a
it's-
white
I
dragon.
didn't know your chin was so pointy. What have I got with you, bro?
You look
Let's
like you're
find out.
6 years old.
Holy
Yeah,
shit!
This
yeah,
is
you
why
do.
the beard
Look
is
at this
awesome.
sexy. Oh my god, look
been
at that
told that.
sexy. Now, memes, you're gonna stay there real quick. I got something for. We gotta do this. Remember, this stream is brought to you by Mom Barry when he still had a beard.
Make sure that get your Mollari juice. It's very important. I'm a
Thanks
dietitian.
for arriving. I hope you weren't offended by the poll.
Who won? Who won? Who won?
Tomorrow and 1 hour, pretty much tied, but 1 hour you got it in 1 hour.
Yes. 1 hour gang.
I'll take it.
I think everyone's waiting for that at this point, but thank you, sir. I dare say I like Babylon 5 better than DS9.
Yes.
Okay, I can respect that.
I've been watching ahead, and oh my god.
Isn't
Oh
it fun?
my god.
He
Oh my god. Yeah.
he just joined Keith. In the,
No, he did it. He did it.
I know.
Who did it? That is even better than what I would have done. I love it.
All right,
I know.
ladies and gentlemen, Aiken drops in with the $2.99 Australian super chat. Says, "I've got to lurk. It's my work day, brother. We will have fun for you, but work pays the bills. It keeps the real life going. YouTube will always be here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your donation. And with that, I am going to give you. There we go.
Captain Murphy.
Hi.
Hi. Now, sir, why do you think I should choose you to father my baby?
Huh?
Thank you,
Doesn't look
Aiken.
like a
It's glad
bank.
to have you here. Memes looks 12. Wait,
Yeah,
that's the wrong one. Memes looks 12. Memes, dude, I didn't know you had a full chin under there.
Can you
bro.
full
I
screen
missed
him
the
now?
beard.
That is better.
Ladies, you can find Memes on his own channel with his sex appeal and hot science takes.
We saw those
Such a
eyebrows from
mimetic
behind your
theory.
glasses.
Yeah. Look at those dimples,
Just like-
ladies. Don't you just want to pinch them and give them
Hey,
the withers?
hey. Oh, you said
No.
dimples. Because I was gonna say the other thing was also.
Look, he's blushing.
He's wearing 2 shirts. There's no way you're going to see
I'm doing
those.
some Thomas workout for 300 days, at least on the internet, as soon as I finish this last one. And
He's
apparently
like, fuck.
changes happen.
Look at the blushing on him, man. That's crazy. Where there's
Yeah,
memes.
okay, can I just say though, I've only ever seen the workout routine you do compared to the cartoon compared to Bruce Lee. But since you're an actual human, you should compare yourself to Bruce Lee before he did Bruce Lee stuff.
I am
And
not
it's very
comparing.
similar.
I'm not comparing myself to Bruce Lee. That would feel like
Well,
sacrilegious. I
I
feel.
mean, okay, I understand that on a philosophical level, but I'm saying like workout routine and the after facts, and that's good for you and him and anyone who sees the inspiration.
The crazy thing is, and this is actually going into the physics and the sciencey things, which may be Babylon 5 kind of related, but side tangent here is, I swear there's got to be something to do with microtubules or something like that, and just getting the resonant frequency. Because after working in a warehouse, which is not one of those safe places in the world, because some dude literally just lost his toes getting crushed. Different stories. But all I know is I was pulling this thing down. All of a sudden, just another wholesale case is like it's flying down. I only kind of catch it out of the corner of my eye. It's just like, oh.
Yeah, I've
I'm
done
like,
that. I've done
holy crap! I'm like, how did I even do that? Like my mind wasn't even like, oh, you're about to get bonked in the head. I'm like, I felt like Hercules or Xena, where it's like you're catching those arrows. It's not that cool, but I was like, whoa! Just because your base instinct is like survive, or I was walking around the side of my pallet jack, and all of a sudden it's like some dude's flying around and you instantly stop. It's like I didn't know I could stop that fast.
Dude, I was almost killed by a forklift driver numerous times doing that kind of job. Super fun. You get really kind of be water, my friend, is a real thing.
No, I hear you. Stone Cold worked in a warehouse
time
for a while. That's why. Never mind. Not beef.
Yeah.
I would like to quickly interrupt. This is the most awkward thing ever. This stream is brought to you by Asthma. So, there we go. Awkward and silent. Is he putting on baby powder?
Who? Garibaldi?
Yeah, Garibaldi. No, memes. He's shaking.
Oh,
So Garibaldi's
other people can't see. Which episode is this again?
We're on
Garibaldi's turning to adjust.
I've watched so much has happened from what I've watched. I'm no longer behind. Now I'm ahead. So now I'm
how far ahead are you?
Behind because I am next season.
Okay, quickly we have a thing from Lord Thought says I was almost killed by criminals several times. Wait, need to take my socks off to count that high.
Lord Thought is actually a superhero. He just doesn't admit to it. The man actually, I know what he does, and he's someone to really honor. Good man.
Oh, is he the superhero formerly known as Phoenix Jones? he fought crime in Portland or wherever. No, Seattle, because they have dueling is still legal, non-lethal.
So memes we're
Babylon
still
5.
in. Yeah, we're still in Exogenesis, and we're getting caught up. So the question I'll ask you right now: do you have a favorite part in this episode in general?
It's Yoda.
I thought that was yogurt. Was this B5 Exo? I need to jog my memory.
This is the one with the parasites that need the host to accept them.
This actually kind of threw me for a loop for a little bit because, well, at first I'm like, wait, are these the shadows? I mean, they're not the shadows, but I'm like, could it be the larval stage? Because again, I don't want to meta game or meta series here, but I'm kind of like getting creeped out. But these folks did seem awfully happy, but then again, at the same time, like, oh, you're the host and you can basically plug into the internet of the universe. Just saying that sounds pretty good.
Now, Tickle Trunk, you had something to say before the mic stuff. So, what did you want to just say before I kind of got you blurted out?
No
Was it Tickle Trunk or Jeebus? My bad. My English sucks today. Jazz Woman says, I'm an idiot. It's Richard Biggs, not Stephen Biggs. It's okay. I'm an idiot too.
Well, I mean, character Stephen and the actor's Biggs, so there you go. It's all good.
Stephen was big.
I am big. Thank you, Vince, for that fat association.
He merged with his character like the people with the symbiotes.
I apologize for the fat shaming. It was unfair.
It's okay. I've merged with many bottles of Crisco. It's all good.
Dude, when I said Crisco
don't look
at
up
work,
at me. That's weird.
That sounds painful.
when I said Crisco at work, I think of you.
It's like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but made of Crisco.
Yes.
Do you want to come back next week?
No, we're doing this now.
No,
Monkey. We all know he's the Crisco Crusader.
Crisco Kid.
No.
Yours is better.
It's an old
This
thing,
self-esteem was brought to you by none, because there's none left here for the host. Thank you very much.
Oh.
But yeah, sorry guys. But this is what I'm going to say right now. This is one of the few episodes where we've had a lot of fun just talking about the episode. We've had no real complaints yet. Has there been any complaints? Does anyone have?
I had complaints that it's too disconnected from the main story.
All right, go ahead.
You got to have a side plot occasionally.
Yes,
there's like 5.
All
go ahead,
connected.
But it was like filler. It was a filler episode.
To me, it felt like a filler. But listening to everyone talk about it, my opinion of the episode's actually gone up.
Why is that?
Because you all have very good points.
Well, it's okay. Excuse me, sorry.
Go ahead.
I think it's kind of nice to have a buffer episode. It's not really filler. I would say it's more like buffer because there's important things, but they're the subplots that are important. And that's how they get you like, oh, that was foreshadowing later, which is
exactly.
You know, I brought this up with Joe Malazzi once. We were having a discussion because it happened several times. I know of at least 2 episodes where they would have the filler episodes, but it was a flashback episode. And I absolutely hate those because it just, to me, it's a waste of time. And I told him that and he just kind of laughed at me. But Babylon 5, you really don't ever get those.
Yeah, there's flashback moments, I guess, but I don't.
Yes, and you love
they
them
do it,
too.
yeah, and they pace it
They're
well,
good.
and they make it relevant. So it's just done correctly instead of like, this is the origin story, and we're telling you after you already dislike this character, so now you have to pretend to like them. Like, that's not fun.
I kind of want to see the reboot now to see like how tight he makes it. Like,
Well, now
how
that
much more efficient.
Well, you brought to our attention in the Babylon 5 chat that the strike has been a deal has been met. So
But they're still doing. But they're still they're, like the a lot of the people are still thinking about voting that down because they feel betrayed.
Most of the workers are not happy with what the representation has made deals for, because most of their grievances aren't addressed.
One of my friends has an acquaintance who's part of this strike, and they I don't think it's going to stop. I think they're going to be pushing because the circumstances are insane, and I don't blame them for pushing for it at all. And it needs to be done.
Yeah, it's it's a 3-year contract that is absolutely non-binding to non-union workers. These companies can just step all over them in just a different way.
Yeah, I mean it basically is a placeholder, kicking the can down the road about 3 years.
I think what Cameron Pasha said yesterday on Midnight's Edge thing was right. That it's to destroy the unions.
Well, I don't even. I'm indifferent towards unions. However, the circumstance I'm aware of is that people are literally being paid less than they should be objectively, and just because it's we have to maneuver money for reasons, and like that doesn't mean you should devalue people when they have lots of experience in what you need them to do. Like, that's insane, particularly if they.
I agree with that. And I think what it comes down to is they're trying to push the envelope to see how far they can take the humanity out of the worth of their work. And that's what it's coming down to. And I think they've had enough of it. They're on set just as long as the actors, maybe more so, setting up, setting down. So, you know what? Fuck them. Fight for what you think you deserve. Otherwise, what do you do? Outsource and just find people for part-time jobs? It's not like people are hanging outside a Home Depot and you can just do this for film crew. It's not the same.
See, they can all walk off.
But
they should all walk off, get my book, and make a movie out of it.
Honestly, your book needs to be at least an animated series, a vocal narrative with someone who can animate it over top of it, and just go with there.
If only we had some talented artists and whatnot within this greater community, fellowship, and you get what you give and everything. And from what I kind of heard based upon what you all told me, it's like, this sounds like the equivalent of a political continuing resolution. We're kicking a can down the road. We're doing the same thing, except we maybe slightly adjust a little thing here. It doesn't sound like it's actually like a really new deal or something like that. And it sounds like a lot of the folks that are actually make up this, whether they're lighting, sound, makeup, camera work, photography, just very often, we're seeing the actors and everything like that. These are the individuals portraying the characters within the stories. You have all the writers and everything. It's like, there's a lot that goes into a high quality production. And it sounds like if you're forgetting about a lot of the other folks, it's like, that's not going to end well to you with you. It's just like,
it's not.
It's all the blue collar guys, like Monkey Jeebus.
They treat the people they're not the actors or not the directors. They treat the people that are actually doing the sets and doing all, like, let's say, boom mic or the camera, all that work. They're thinking that part-time work, that they can just go down to the local resource center and the people will just take that part-time job for a couple hours and move on. It doesn't work like that. People who work hard expect to get some type of respect for the work they put in. They expect at least to have the pay match the same, and they put just as much or even more effort than the person who is on behind the lens. And if they don't understand that, then they are so fucking far detached that you know what's going to suffer? Not the people walking out. The people who are trying to check that freaking agenda list to make a show that panders to nobody. We end up calling it Down by the River, a Batwoman story.
Oh, wow.
Well, a lot of these workers, too, they just want time to sleep or a decent meal for lunch break, you know?
Yeah, not even pay. It's like they have to commute for 2 hours.
Pushing them way too hard.
Yeah. If you're working in the greater Hollywood area, and like you all were saying, if you're not making like a huge, like, 6+ figure salary or something like that, and even with that, depending on the location, it's like, you're probably living far away from where you work. If you got to commute at least an hour or two, especially with some of the West Coast traffic down there and everything, plus commute back, all right, so now you're talking 2 to 4 hours there, and then just even be able to get food there. It's like, yeah, sometimes they have catering, sometimes people have allergies, sometimes you just want to just have some time, unwind, have a smoke, some baby powder, whatever your fancy is, and actually like eat, consume, and actually be healthy. Because like, didn't somebody lose their life driving home one night?
Yes, they did.
A lot of people have been doing it recently, actually. That's why the push for this was so sudden. Recently. That's why the push was recent.
You got to address the main issues and stuff. And people are willing, especially if they like what they do, they're willing to not necessarily work for as much money as maybe they could get at times if you treat them with respect. Or if you're going to treat someone like trash, at least pay them a good paycheck.
The problem is,
the only thing is that there's still non-union crews that will work.
That is true, but at the same time, we're at the point now where respect is worth as much as $1.
If those non-union crews are getting the same crappy pay and same disrespect, they probably aren't going to be working there long either. Because it comes down to they're deliberately paying people less. So unless it's a hobby to someone, I don't see why they take the job.
Because
sometimes they need it, they'll just take it. Like there's like people that will undercut
but I'm
just for the
like,
work. Yeah.
Okay, I get that, but my point is that it's
Resume.
a lot of If it's a lot of work, and they're still getting paid nothing, I don't know. It's not like a normal strike. This is very weird.
Yeah, the people really will do the work, but there's not a lot of them.
But let's put it this way: we're at the point now where Hollywood, any type of system that makes film industry or stuff like that, writers, is that they don't care. If someone will do it for cheaper, they'll do it for cheaper. Anything to save a buck. The dollar sign is what's controlling everything, in my opinion. And they don't see people any more than a dollar sign. They can't even relate. If they had it their way, they probably relate the value of their work to the dollar sign. Their paycheck will be based on the principle of how much they do or what they think they should do. There's a loss of humanity.
The problem with that, Stephen, is you're also going to run into even just base diminishing returns. Because let's face it, with the internet and everything, it's like your fan bases can be a lot more vocal. If all of a sudden the quality of the work just starts dropping and everything, not to say that there aren't qualified people out there, but a lot of the folks, if you've been working in the industry for years, I'm just thinking, I'm like, one of my friends, he happened to work as a sound tech. If all of a sudden it's like, if he's been doing that for 20 years and all of a sudden you get like some random person off, maybe they can kind of do it. But what happens when you're editing and all of a sudden you hear that high pitch little?
Look at memes. I want to add to that too, because I knew friends when I was back in couriering, right? And they would work courier jobs like Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, whatever. Like that'd be the mostly commission. Some would be guaranteed amount every week, every 2 weeks. But then you had others who would take side jobs working on like sound stage setups and takedowns for whether it be concerts at different areas. And they not only did they now have insurance, they did it because they needed the money. They're pretty much going after the people who need things rather than the people that are qualified for things. This isn't just related to the strike. We can take this when it comes to television, media, comic books especially. Video games are starting to get
You can take it for any industry. Labor's getting hated on.
What are they going to start charging us? Like, okay, you breathed a lot more than that other fat guy on the set, so we're going to take $10 off because you wasted a lot of our air. I'm waiting for that fucking argument to pop up because that's how stupid it sounds. You work hard, you should get paid hard. It doesn't matter how much less they think you deserve. It's the amount of effort put in, and if the show shows it, there's no loss.
Well, I think that's what the producers kind of want to do too. They don't want to just pay the base amount to everybody. They want to. They're going to want to break up their unions.
What, favoritism, Petty?
No, so they're gonna pay the people that they see are like high quality, like the money, and then everybody else is gonna get like whatever.
Then that's gonna cause a laziness across the board because they don't feel like their worth is worth it. I know there are lazy workers that do the half-ass job or the bare minimum, but that also has an after effect of favoritism, which could actually cause detrimental. And let's take it this way: if everything is so related on CGI. How is a story even being told if everything is just fucking CGI? We're disconnecting the fact that it doesn't matter how much those people put in. It's the stage crew that are the ones making it look good. They're the ones holding the mics. They're the ones making sure the scenery's done. And it just feels like it's an argument of detached because one person wants to save a buck while everyone wants to earn it to make that extra buck. And it feels like a vicious cycle.
It's the I think
years, man.
I think Elon Musk may have put a lot of this situation some of the best terms in that it's the MBMA-ization of America. It's basically all right. How do you just maximize the return on your revenue? You either increase revenues and you cut costs. It's like, well, we're not getting the revenue. Let's cut our costs. Let's hurry folks through these breaks and everything. Let's work them to the bone as much as we can to try to maximize that
they
return.
go like, oh, we have to get this done by this time, so we're gonna work them hard. Work them harder.
I want to quickly say this because Jester, bro, I think I want to read this out loud. I must say, I thought better of you, memes. I thought you knew that beard lives matter.
This is to Jester. I apologize. People with beards are people too.
I'll come up from a different aspect. It's not Hollywood. It's not everything. It's like I talk about courier work once in a while. Like courier work is like this. We don't get insured because it's a dangerous job. It's life threatening. We get hit by a car in a life anything like that. No one wants to have that insurance. So we don't get insured. It's a dangerous job. We put a life. I put my life on the line every day.
Wait, what? There's no insurance for that?
There's no insurance, bro. I have never been insured, and I've been hit when I was doing courier work. I was working 2 companies. I have been hit by 16 separate vehicles. The last one fucked me up pretty bad to the point where my spine, if operated on, would have made me paralyzed from the waist down. I chose, fuck it. I got to deal with the pain and work every day. I'm still like that person. But we're at a point where they don't, even couriers, companies, it's like Hollywood. It's like what we're talking about right now. They don't see the value in the humanity of the work being done. They only care about the package and the client being delivered. And that's how Hollywood's acting. They want the episode shipped out, which is the package. They want it on time, which is the service they choose. And the people who are suffering is the courier who puts their life on the line driving through fucking rush hour traffic, hoping someone doesn't run a red light, a stop sign, open the door in oncoming traffic. It's the same thing. And I think that's where the whole thing is coming from. The worth of the humanity put in, which means you're sacrificing your home life, your family life, spending time with your kids, your wife, your husband, whoever it is. It's all related.
It's because
Hollywood is detached,
and they don't know logistics.
Because they have money, they get to go home to their shit. They have people, everything's there. They don't understand what it's like to be a working
people in logistics
person.
Don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I used to argue with them all the time. I was like, do the math again, because you're like really retarded.
We're in the genesis of detached. People work hard.
Location unenabled.
But at the same time, there is people out there that don't want to sit at home. They don't want to just constantly look at a screen and waste away hoping the next Pop-Tart doesn't come out burnt. They want to work because they just want to work. They are, in their mind, working means life. If you're not working or have a job, you feel like your life is going nowhere because we've been bred for that. It's mind-boggling.
Are we going to the world of Wall-E?
No. I'm not trying to be depressive. I'm really not trying to be depressing at all. I'm just saying.
No, but
it's depressing. I want a hover chair.
I want to hug a sausage. We don't see me going out to the nearest like hot dog vendor getting a veggie dog.
That's why whenever they talk about that universal basic income, that's that they're trying to turn us into consumers. Consumers.
I will never accept universal basic income because that means you're relying on a system. If 2020 has taught us anything, I am not having that. Disability is hard enough.
But that's the whole. But then if we become reliant on them, that secures their purpose.
All right, go ahead, Kate.
So I had an interesting conversation about that with friends because there's a lot of people who seem to think that is a relevant argument to replace the same argument, but it's such a roundabout ideological egghead conversation, and it's like, okay. We don't have nowhere in the world really, except for maybe Chile, Poland. Those are really the only ones I know of that have successfully dismantled systems and then replaced them if necessary. That's just not going to happen in most, and certainly not English-speaking countries. For some, that's what I mean. In particular, English-speaking. But it's interesting to say that. It's just. I do agree with you that relying on a system is not the way to go ever because it can always fail. And it comes down to having necessary skills and qualifications and value more than anything. And that's ultimately what the problem with this Hollywood stuff is they don't value anything. They value their cocktail parties, and that's it.
And they're small time people. I want to quickly point out before we push on. Das Wolfen says, I have been on disability and not be able to work since 2001. I can tell you where out working sucks. Das Wolfen, I agree. Up here in Canada, disability, we're allowed to make $200 over our disability check before they start taking half off and letting us keep half of our paycheck. When I got laid off in November last year, 2020, by email, I felt like my world shattered. But at the same time, I've already started with YouTube, and I made my channel my job. And not working sucks. I miss going. I worked in retail. I worked at Hot Topic. I'm not embarrassed by it. You want to know why? Hot Topic has all the pop culture shit that I either know about, that we're ready to learn about, and I can share a story and make a customer buy stuff and feel comfortable and have a great time. I miss that social interaction. I feel like I have de-evolved when it comes to social interaction on a personal, like physical level because of how shit's gone. Not working does suck. It really sucks because a lot of us like feeling like we've gone out at 9 a.m. in the morning, busted our asses, and come home waiting for that paycheck that comes on a Friday or Saturday so we can take whoever we care about, even ourselves, out and be selfishly spoiled for that moment. I don't want to rely on the government. I fucking hate disability, but you know what? I have to do it because one day what might happen, I might not be able to walk ever again. And that's always in the back of my head. But if I can work, even if it's for like a couple hours a day, a week, I will take it. Because you know why? I feel like I'm contributing not only to myself, but to society, and feel like I'm living, even if it's a little. The screen fucking environment, the screen fucking generation only goes so far. It might be forever, but it doesn't mean our soul is forever. I'd rather work, bro, and I feel you.
On a lighter note, is it just me, or are these parasites basically like biological USB drives?
Parasites. On a lighter note,
I think they're memory drives. And later, whoever has to go, later, Arwen, thank you for upgrading your membership. Have a great day. But I was gonna say, I think they're memory drives. And I will be right back because there's a toilet calling.
Oh, I see.
You're trying to vamp.
He must be hanging out with Dr. Stephen Walton.
It's like a toilet, and look who's talking.
Okay, I don't need like a documentary or like a monologue while I go to the washroom.
Go.
Listen, while he's gone, let me at least help to wrap this particular part of our episode up and ask everyone go down the line to rate this episode. So let's start with Mr. Tickletrunk.
It used to be a 5. Okay. I think I'd actually bump this up to a 6.5, possibly, maybe even a 7 almost. After hearing everyone today, maybe a 7.
How about memes?
Is memes also AFK?
Oh wait. Oh yes. Yes. Following the logical progression there, I see what you did, but I kind of forget. I remember that this was one of those episodes where I was like, and I was like, I remember there was a part here where I'm like, that's what I love about so many of these episodes. It's just like, there's like a story to be told. There's a moral. There's a lesson. What exactly that is, I think that really depends upon the observer, but it hits home on so many things that have happened in our life or that we've seen in society. I gotta go with an 8.
Okay, that's great. Adega.
No Jeebs?
Oh, sorry, Jeebs. I am so sorry. Jeebs, we're gonna go with you next, then Adega.
All right, I give it a 6.
Cool.
It was like, it's not the best, but it's not like the worst.
Okay.
I like it better than the next episode.
Really?
Well,
wow.
I mean, because like I've just seen the next episode like way too many times. That it's...
Did you guys go to the rating system again? I was gone 5 seconds. What is this shit?
It's
check your clock. You've been gone an hour.
No, there's chicken in the kitchen. Hold on.
Time is relative.
Hold on. I got to do this first. First of all, nice, Keith, for pushing it on. I get it. Darius says, take care, Robert Allen. Nice to see you, Darius. I like the new avatar. Pod Racing Palpatine, thank you for being a member and supporting the channel. I hope you're having a great day. Brett Cohen, with a $2 super chat from Australia, says, the Crisco needs to drip out. No.
Yeah, new brand. Crisco catheter.
Drip out at a slow pace. What was this? I got to find out what the super sticker was.
They already make
like
those.
a gremlin.
Don't feed your Mogwai after midnight.
Why can't I see the super sticker? What's going on here?
Popcorn.
YouTube must be lagging or something's going on here.
Probably.
Does anyone see what that sticker is? Because I can't.
Popcorn.
No.
And Darius Munchausen gives a 149 super sticker of a popcorn. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And with that,
has made some bad choices.
and secondly, thank you very much. And I didn't mean to be a Debbie Downer. I was just relating myself personally to like the shit that's going down. Now everything's the same. Man Squatch pops in. Nice to see you. Sweet. I can watch this live at least while I'm on my break. Well, thank you for giving us your break. Man Squatch.
And we have the conclusion of a poll.
So what was it? You guys were closing out with the rating of this episode, right?
Yes.
I'll give it an 8.
Yeah.
Because a 9 if I include this conversation we've had together with this episode.
Cool.
Can I just make I'm raising my hand. I'm sorry, I'm talking over you, Professor Keith. But can I just say, I think this is what really makes great fandom right here. The sheer fact that depending on like conversing with other folks, because like sometimes like I'll watch something and then I'll be like, all right, yeah, maybe I didn't quite get it. And then I have a conversation with somebody. It's like, oh my God, I didn't realize. And then I go back and I watch it again. I'm like, I took away so much more. So it's like, your initial thoughts can kind of change. And I feel like when we all kind of mesh together, it's like, all right, we could say, yeah, this wasn't the greatest episode out there. But at the same time, it's like, well, you still take away stuff there. Because I'm like, would I like to be plugged into the universe of stuff and things biologically by some crazy thingy after I die? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would.
Sure.
Continue.
I need to grift for eons on end.
It sounds like you're eating ravioli.
Yes, sir.
How would you rate this?
I would give it an 8 because I think the acting's good and there's a lot of things I like about it. But I have to give it a 7 simply because in a lot of ways it's been done before.
Yep.
Yes. That's why I gave it a low rating initially.
It's reliable though.
Well, Miss Kate, how would you rate this?
7 because I like the subplots more and gross bugs.
Rosebud.
Gross bugs.
Wow.
Did she say roast buns or rosebud?
Oh my God.
I think she said roast buns.
Roast beef?
Bugs.
Oh, even the gross bugs. Okay. Oh, I get it.
Wait, is that Kate?
She likes the roses.
Oh my God, you'd be amazing at ASMR.
Asthma.
Get that, a little bit of tinfoil, you'd be set.
Ugh, got it. Ooh, cringy. Horrible.
Memes, I don't have ravioli.
Not anymore.
Yeah, of course not. Not anymore.
There's Crisco ravioli. Oh, ew. Okay.
You know what? I give this episode a 7.5. I could easily give it an 8, mainly because I enjoyed just a lot of the acting in this episode, and especially again, it shows Franklin and Marcus and just doing just what they do best, and I like both those characters interacting. In fact, a lot of the interpersonal relationships in this particular episode I found to be most intriguing. So, yeah.
That's good.
I agree. That is the best parts.
One of the few Marcus episodes we get. I really like it. I really do like his aspect of the episode, especially the Shakespeare at the beginning. I'm a sucker for Shakespeare.
I like how we see Marcus literally as like a level 9 Aragorn, slowly leveling up throughout the series.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
wow.
The end though is the best because he's like, okay, but did you laugh? Yeah. He's like, well, then I'm good.
But the other thing I want to add, though, I want to go full Aragorn because there was a point where they're trapped by not only taking over bodies, he's literally thinking about, hey, you think I got a chance with Ivanova?
Yeah.
We're in jail. I gotta know. Do you think I can get in there? He's
so funny. He's adorable.
No, but it would be interesting to find out.
Seriously, that's what your big last words are. It's like, yeah, dude. I mean, isn't it yours? Obviously not. Have you talked to her? No.
Let's not ruin things. I mean, there's a lot of deep lore there.
Yeah.
Well,
he wants to go deep lore.
Both the beginning and the end are Marcus doing something nice for Ivanova.
Mm-hmm.
Accepting the flowers and giving the flowers.
And they bacon and eggs at the beginning.
Well, somebody gets
that's this episode, not the last episode.
Is it?
It is.
Yeah, Message of Birth is the opener. Yeah.
And it's a great conversation. It's very fun.
And I invite you on, and you don't even know the episodes we're talking about.
Look, this is the 4th time I'm watching this show this year.
I'm sorry, Mr. Tickle Funk. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's got to stick now. You're gonna make mixtapes.
I mean, that's also very telling. It's just like you've got all this stuff out there. There's been stuff that's come over like the past 20, 30 years. And what do you find yourself going back to? Oh, give me some of that B5, baby.
Yeah, there's a few shows I like to watch once a year.
I completely am starting to understand.
But has everyone give their rating of the last episode before we move on to Message of Birth?
What did you say?
Yes.
Keith was 7.5.
All right.
Holy shit. And then, but that's where, like, you know, Tickle Trunk, you said that you got the episodes confused. That's where I was trying to relate earlier. I'm saying that's why these episodes are connected when it comes to the Marcus Ivanova
yes
interaction. And Toxic Man Flu pops in with the membership. Thank you, sir. I hope your wife gave back my mug. Says, what is this bologna sandwich show? I don't know.
No, it's Crystal Corpse ravioli, extra large.
Oh my god.
With
but
roses.
But I agree that
genius.
It is genius, but the best part is if you don't pay attention to the Garibaldi and Sheridan and Ivanova interacting.
I love it.
Look at the staff behind at the other tables, turning around, going, "I smell real food."
Right.
they all turn into like the cannibals for a Denny's breakfast.
Right.
It's great. I will eat it.
I love that when they're panning into them and Garibaldi's complaining, you can kind of see some of the extras like giggling at him. It's so great.
Speaking of panning in that,
trope.
Yes. Speaking of panning, did you notice the total upgrade in direction for this episode compared to like everything until now? The camera work is amazing.
Yeah, the cinematography is much better.
Yes, especially in the opening scene.
Like this is a very important episode.
I did actually notice because it's been probably about a week or so since I watched this episode, but I did notice at some point in the episodes I was watching, I'm like, oh, this is really good, and I'm like, now that you mentioned, I'm like, there's some really good camera shots in there.
Yeah, they added some more directors during this season.
Well, J.M. Straczynski also had like a flu halfway through the episode.
That was the previous episode.
Yeah, previous
wasn't it?
one.
Okay, never mind. I was reading the wrong thing. Oh, we're on the other one because it's.
We're at 8.
Do you and Tickle Trunk have the same cold or something? What's going on here?
Maybe.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Did you say pull on my beard and he pulled too hard and that's what happened?
Is that how time travel happens? Nobody knows.
He inhaled your beard.
At least I'm not eating my beard anymore. That's
Stephen Savis.
I can no longer hold a donut underneath my chin.
There's
I
no
feel like
flavor
I'm missing
saver?
out.
Yeah.
The flavor saver. Marcus' character arc is pretty apocalyptic, though. We're not there yet, but I do agree. It's not just that; it's also.
I wouldn't say it's apocalyptic, but it is definitely heart-wrenching.
And since we're in Messages of Earth, what happens is they're all sitting around. Garibaldi's complaining, and then everything stops because that man is Italian and loves food. And it's like, I smell bacon and eggs.
But
like a cotton candy beard.
But Sheridan's response to his complaining is better than the bacon and eggs.
Oh yeah. What was it? It was this one. It was. Oh, we usually go by the book with the order SUAEI.
SUAEI.
Shut up and eat it.
Right. But like the lead up to the punchline is so beautifully executed. Like the first time I watched this, I had to rewind it at least 3 times to try and comprehend what the hell happened.
Yes.
Well, it's just the way the scene is with Garibaldi. I've been stuck in this tin can for 3 years. I haven't taken a vacation. Okay, it's my fault. I had that leave coming. I just didn't take it, and the pay sucks. And I knew that when I signed on.
Well,
yeah, but where does it say I have to eat the same thing every day for 3 years?
And then perfect deadpan professional response.
Paragraph 47, subsection C, clause 9A.
Clause 9A.
You can find it in the index under SUAEI.
See, what bothers me is that they could have made this even a little bit better if they had Franklin walk by, like that episode where he was chewing the food plants, and just walk by looking at the bacon and eggs. If they actually had him in the background do that, they would have nailed it.
That would have been funny. Yeah.
They're just giving him the stink eye.
Mm-hmm. This was a great episode.
Wow.
It is.
Yeah. This is the beginning, and for me, this is leading to. It's going to lead to some really, really cool stuff.
Yeah, this is the top of the roller coaster.
Oh yeah. This is definitely
this episode is the top of the roller coaster.
It is. It's
I just
confirm.
Yeah. It's just that good of an episode.
I think my favorite line of this episode is all I want to have is some rain. All I want to do is feel rain. I just want to hear rain.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of the whole series.
You know what? It's where Marcus notices that Ivanova is distracted, starts making stuff up.
Yep.
According to one of our units on the border of Centauri space,
it must be French.
But what
we
can you
didn't
expect
know why.
from it?
Maybe they expect a counterattack. It's hard to say.
It's a large dragon, the kind that eats the sun every 100 years. But what can you expect from reptiles?
Hey,
Have I also
I
mentioned
my nose is on fire. And
Yeah, my nose is on fire.
Wild badgers living in my trousers.
She just looks at him slowly.
Right, but I mean, like, prior to that, when she's on CNC after Sheridan does Sheridan stuff, and she's visibly distraught and sighs and is clearly trying not to have a panic attack. So she's just completely shutting down and ignoring Marcus when she shouldn't be. And then, the anxiety just kind of ensues because her, essentially, the one person who's like a sibling to her left could die. So that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow, that is just... Whew. And this is also the episode where you see Jakar in his cell, and Garibaldi is continuing to visit him.
I love this scene.
And, wow.
It's so good.
Yeah. I mean, just this is definitely the top of the roller coaster.
Yeah.
So
this is the first time. Yeah, this is the first time you get to see how what happened affected Jakar. His disposition. It's like night and day, and Andreas pulls it off so perfectly because when he's sitting there, he doesn't actually have a smile, but it's incredibly subtle. The difference between him sitting still and not talking to anyone now and 2 episodes from before this.
Well, even within this particular scene, how as an actor it's how he uses the space.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have 2 actors there, and you can see Jakar go through so much just in the use of that shadow towards the end of that conversation where he leans back. And it's just, that's just genius.
The romantic are amazing.
More of the improved cinematography, because that moment it's like, oh, this is getting serious because he's cloaking himself, and there's more to this.
I have a question related to this, though. Do you think this is also Garibaldi trying to make up for how a couple episodes ago he was treating Jakar when it came to the attack on Londo. He was being very what do you call it? What's the word when you're like just blowing people off? What's that word?
Dismissive.
Dismissive. That's the one. And I think in a way, he, as much as he's using the petition as a reason why, he's actually just checking up on a friend or trying to rebuild that friendship.
Yes.
Well, but also you've noticed if you go back to the very beginning of the show, how Garibaldi is now as friendly with Jakar as he was originally with Londo.
Yes.
You know, it's interesting how things change and yet in certain ways are still kind of the same, you know.
Well, he's the one who noticed that he said that, you know, Londo's not going to change as long as he's scared.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one who can see that. And I think his relationship with Jakar is becoming as close as you know, casual friends could be, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I would suspect there's some underlying intentions to it, because he's aware that Jakar has had conversations with. He's literally confronted Delenn about just circumstances in general, and keeping Jakar close and wanting to understand his motives, if there are anything, isn't a bad idea. It just so happens that his motives go from being very volatile to very, very positive, and that ends up helping Garibaldi more than Jakar in the long run. So it's kind of like a switch of roles in their friendship too.
I think this point gave him not only the silence to think with himself. The cell itself gave him the ability to choose his path and to hear his inner voice, and that's where he's going with, because his inner voice is my people.
It also adds such strength to the phrase, "Have you seen Mr. Garibaldi?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thus the whole letter to the Birmingham jail thing that I referenced. You know, letters from a Birmingham jail. It is just to see Jakar and to understand, you know, having already seen this entire series, to see what he's going to go through. I mean, what is ahead is going to be amazing, really, for all the characters, but especially for Jakar.
Mm.
And I think this next episode will also show how other people have noticed that. You know, for right now, it pretty much seems like Garibaldi is the first one. And he's getting to know this version of Jakar now.
Mm-hmm.
And soon everyone will see who he is and how much he's changed and how important that is for the overall plot of what is about to come.
I think Jared Garibaldi within himself would have been a great diplomat, because the hardest thing about being the head of security is getting out of the pretense, like when we see a cruiser pop up or hear the sirens blast behind us and we're getting pulled over. He has to not only break the wall that he's more than just the guy who enforces the law, that he can still talk to you one-on-one. And him and Jakar's whole ambience and repertoire it's showing there.
Well, but also, given what Garibaldi is going to reveal, he has a secret that he is yet to reveal.
Yeah,
that will be revealed, and it's about how he, what he truly thinks and feels. And while he has the natural skills of a diplomat, I don't think that would be the proper job for him.
No. Garibaldi's not the best security guard or chief of security, but he is the best detective.
Mm-hmm.
He's an incredibly good detective, and a large part of that is building context, people skills. Something I got from this episode is I got the hunch that Garibaldi stops in twice a week and sees how he's doing. This isn't just a one-off thing.
Yeah.
Well,
because of how friendly they are with each other and how they have that rapport already.
I think it's more than twice a week. Personally,
every day.
What I think it's the same. It's the same landlines where people are perceiving whether or not Odo is talking to Quark more than we see in the episodes.
Yes, exactly that. Yes.
Yeah, as much as but the difference is that these guys actually have a friendship blooming, while Odo and Quark will never admit they're friends, as much as Quark is saying, he loves me. The same type of repertoire is there with these character interactions.
Yeah. And again, life is about change, and we're about to see a whole lot of it this season.
Yep, and a lot of Sheridan going, time to go He-Man.
Well, Sheridan's got other things he's dealing with. I mean, to watch Sheridan over these next 3 to 4 episodes, you're definitely going to see something with Sheridan. But I mean, in terms of not only just action, but in the burgeoning self-realization of how he truly feels, and what that means. In fact, that's really what all these characters are going through, is the realization of how they actually feel and how they deal with that.
Zach especially. Zach is actually put in a weird place where he's starting to see the realities of where his trust should go and how far an armband for an extra paycheck is going to cost him. And I think this episode shows that I still have time to backtrack. And
how much is that 50 credits a week worth to you?
It's not. My soul will never be bought by $1.
Yeah, and again, it's. I think Zach understanding exactly where Garibaldi comes from. I mean, us as an audience, we know that this. When we were introduced to Garibaldi, it's the understanding of this really is his last chance. Out of everybody on that station, this is his last chance to actually make something of his career in life, and he's definitely not gonna waste it. Every decision that he makes, everything about the rest of his life is very dependent on what happens. This job as the head of security on Babylon 5. And but as I said before, this particular season, these next couple of episodes, it is going to be very revealing to see these characters deal with how they actually feel. Because so many things happen that sometimes you can become disconnected to how you truly feel. And you're so used to building up walls and working a certain way that sometimes your real feelings, when you really sit down to really just look inside yourself, could be quite surprising. And at least for 1 or 2 characters, it's very surprising. So
it's also a building the fact that, I agree with that, Keith, is that the fact that we're getting the cast, the characters, they're at the point now where no longer can their personal walls of protecting themselves keep the trust going. They have to eventually let someone else in. And through those episodes, even if it just seems like a filler or not, we're seeing this. In this episode, we're seeing with Garibaldi and Jakar. We're also seeing it with Delenn and Sheridan. This is a marking point where not only do they trust in they will be there for each other, but there's a trust in that the other one is listening. And when they get to that rain scene, that is the spark. That is the spark of love. I'll say that right.
Yeah. That is it. That leads into so much. That really is taking us to the end of the series. That little scene there really takes you. Oh yeah, I can't say anything else because then I'll get emotional.
But I mean, beautiful part about this series, sorry to cut you off again, Keith, but it's just like there'll be series and they'll be like, all right, there's a flashback here, there's kind of something, and sometimes maybe they kind of hint at it, sometimes they explain it, but with Babylon 5, it's like if you actually watch and, as far as I understand, hear and listen to like the other actual content that's out there, like everything actually has a reason. It's all building towards something, and that's something that I feel exactly. And I feel like J. Michael Straczynski, I think this was his thing, because all I know is I think he's doing the same thing again. Because remember, They've been some Babylon 5 conventions. Where does he likes being among his people? I mean, like, if you're doing something you like and you can interact with the people you like, and like, they're gonna keep you honest. And I think
he had a great writer's room.
Yeah,
I mean, he had a fantastic writer's room, and on top of that, you had Harlan Ellison to help keep everybody honest.
Yep.
So I mean, yeah.
There's also another thing I want to add, and they delivered this personally, and this image can be a perfect example. Most people out of a relationship or starting a relationship, trust is one thing, but it's knowing that the person you're interested in that is interested in you, that you're starting this relationship with, show those small signs that they're listening. And Delenn nailed it on this one. She nailed it with such a like an arrow to the target. That's why a lot of people can pick up on it, maybe on the first try or second try, but it's there. And that also can relate to real relationships. A lot of people just want one thing in a relationship. It's not just accepting the person for who they are, but knowing that the person is talking is being listened to, and vice versa.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you kind of realize, having watched this show more than once, I will say this. In I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Delenn has felt this way for a little bit. I mean, John's just catching up, to where she already is.
John and I have a lot in common in that aspect.
Don't worry,
I basically have to get run over to figure out someone's into me.
What the hell does that mean? Why?
She's been looking at him for a whole season.
Oh yeah,
no,
not just in this episode. She gives him the full puppy dog eye treatment, but there's moments. There's moments in the show in this episode where she's just staring. Ooh, she's devouring him with her eyes.
But it's not just that though. I think there's more to it. I think this episode does contribute to that as a definite, but at the same time, it also signifies her place that she can actually fall in love with someone outside her species.
I think she's.
But that's the thing. I think really some of that was in season 2 with her. The way that, and I'm not saying that was the exact moment when the first time she goes out to dinner with John. When she wears that dress, she's got that dress.
Oh, goddamn. The whole fucking goddamn restaurant's just like, damn, them bar nuts.
And that one guy who's just staring in the foreground. He's like, can I help you with something? And he sort of, the guy in the extra doesn't say anything. He just kind of like slowly leans back towards his table.
He rubbernecked. He literally rubbernecked with a lean back. He's like, hey, how are you doing?
The vendor did not lie.
No. It was at the point where it was literally like the whole restaurant was construction workers, and all she did was walk in and everyone's catcalling with their eyes. How you doing?
Play that sexy sax music.
It was really Joey Treviani, whatever the fuck his last
name.
Treviani everywhere, just going, how you doing?
Well, you know what? With what we just said, I wonder if the actor that played the vendor that sold her the dress is the same one that actually played the guy that sold the flowers to Corwin. I'm just saying, this guy's on a roll if it is the same guy.
Wait, Keith, that could be great. Keith, that could be great. What if he's actually
glasses?
What if he's the Watcher from the Marvel universe, but in the Babylon 5 universe? He could be a first one, and we'll never know it.
That would be interesting, considering it's this is a Warner Brothers production. But I mean, it's
we are the watchers who do the watching.
The tales from the Slap That Ass 5.
Oh gosh! I just think that again, this is definitely one of those instances where we guys can finally say, yeah, okay, we get it now.
Yeah.
Those of us that are slow on the uptake, because I was
like, like I said, I'm one of those men.
I'm gonna need an extra glass of mumberry juice.
I'm gonna need an upgrade in StreamYards for all the erections probably happening right now.
Wait, what?
I'm sorry, I had to bring up the dress again because it's like that was a nice dress.
And Daga, do you have anything to add since you've been pretty quiet? Going, why am I on this panel with these people?
Why am I on this panel with these people?
What the fuck? What's that fridge? Yes, I will grab another. No.
I think on this one, I'm just the quiet observer listening to these guys make silliness of themselves.
You're the smart one.
Indeed, there you are.
I'm just saying, this is a really good episode. I can definitely say right now.
The key's heart is that tiny little black dress.
Oh, geez, really? You're going to act like it doesn't do anything for you?
Oh, no. Let's comment on the misogyny here. Yes, no, I understand we're talking about dresses and everything, but let's talk about fast cars. By fast cars, I mean very fast ships. By fast ships, I mean the White Star.
Hold on.
Well, I thought you were going to say fast women.
Patricia Tallman, if you have that dress and want to come on and wear that dress, just I promise you'll get all my super chats for that week for that show. Not for me. I won't be there. I'll just be Keith alone going. She called me young.
Steven, that was very rude.
That was not
I apologize, Miss Tallman.
Oh, go back to your turtle collection. Come on, I was being polite and funny. It was at this point I realized I no longer need a subscription to see Alice. I mean that with all politeness, not rude.
When you have Walton's brand natural enema.
Wait. You call me rude? You're talking about tree fucking and cafe enemas? What the fuck, man?
Hey, no. Those are the sappy prophylactics. That's a separate thing.
Jeez.
I think that's some deep lore people watching this won't understand.
Oh, very deep.
Like, what the fuck
very
are you
deep
talking
lore.
about right now?
Trees and coffee? What?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'll put a link in the
And
chat.
little black dresses. Jeez. Anyway,
I'm kind of getting along with memes though. We haven't talked about the fact that here's Sheridan above and beyond most other sci-fi captains shows that, you can run away or you can take on the bigger dog in the block and show, you know what, I can cut you off at the knees and beat you where other people would be afraid of you.
I believe a wise dwarf once said, certainty
There we
of
go.
death, small chance for success. What are we waiting for?
Right.
Hello, religious cast. I'm going to hell, aren't I?
Would you like to be
actually, that
baptized
evening,
too?
She's part of the worker cast because she's working it. I'm telling you.
Oh my god, I'm rude.
Oh no.
That might come off the way you think it does out loud. There, Keith.
They're going to declare.
You realize what you just get away 4 people from the chat. You literally just said part of the working class. We calling her Vegas? What, do you hear what she just said?
That didn't come out the way you wanted it to.
I didn't know she was part of the union.
You're never going to be called young again, young man. Never again.
That dress is good for you.
Keith probably wears that dress when he goes to sleep at night. Calls it pajamas.
It looks soft.
That dress is made from 100%. Damn.
I'm glad you jumped in. I was going to make a small chance of success joke.
I thought you were going to go like full Wayne's World.
What would be involved in, if we wanted to reproduce said dress, what would we need?
It looks like you would probably need
cleavage.
Well, she doesn't have any cleavage. No offense, she's tiny.
She's a wee lass.
She is. I presume the bulk of it is probably a cotton blend, and then the top with the shoulders and sleeves appear to be sheer. Like I have things that are like that. So
I'm not asking how much would need to be donated to either your boutique or Steven's super chats in order for you to create and potentially.
I could probably find a dress like that easily, to be completely honest.
But we can't tailor it.
The internet.
We can't tailor it for Mean's body type.
For Means, I'm not entirely sure how tall he is, but I'm sure he could work that.
It's true. I'm not good with heels, though.
Not good with heels? Just get little ones. It's okay. It just takes practice.
Toxic Memphis says the QSS cleavage ready for shakedown crew. Shit. You and the dog agrees.
Yeah, let me mute that.
Well, again, to get back to this episode, I mean, this is really about relationships. I mean, you no, but seriously, you're seeing a lot of different relationships develop, and what you're watching, as I said before, it's Delenn, it's John, but it's also Ivanova and Marcus.
It's full story building and starship battles.
Yes.
yeah.
That is true. Wait, let's give Memes credit, because I think where he's going with this is there was actually they used the White Star to have the first atmospheric hyperspace jump.
Yeah.
And that was a brilliant maneuver that later was in what Star Trek movie did they do that in? What episode was that?
But they had Babylon 5.
I think that was DS9 as well. They did they were still in the atmosphere, and I think it was Kira that did the they called for the go to warp while still in the atmosphere. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Also, you had that on the
Babylon 5
of Battlestar Galactica.
Or yeah, Battlestar. Sorry, I keep seeing Babylon 5. My brain's lost.
That's one of my favorite scenes in Battlestar Galactica, where they rescue everybody on the planet and they jump into the atmosphere.
That was a dumb
release all their
showed off
fighters
stuff.
and jump off. Oh, but it was good. You got to admit that was good.
Oh yeah.
Well, not even that. Just like the tactics and everything they're using. It's like, why are we even doing this in the first place? It's like, well, we can't let that shadow ship fall into Earth Dome's hands. What are we gonna do? Well, I'm obviously gonna do it myself. Why? Because I'm Sheridan and I have this badass ship. So of course you go there and everything. It's like, oh, it seems to be learning. It seems to be like a new vessel and everything. It's like, well, it's a pretty big vessel. It's like, what if it get caught in the gravity well? What are we gonna do? We're gonna go He-Man! Mr. Lemire! Go! And you're going. It's like, Captain, we're beyond the power. It's like, we don't know if we can make it. Are we gonna make it? It's like, uncalculable, sir. It's like, keep going. No, pull up! And then everything, and then gravity kind of works.
Thank you for saying pull up and not pull out. Thank you very much, Memes.
Well, they had to pull out of the gravity well by pulling up.
What?
It's all relative.
You have dibs on the phrase? Is that the implication?
Go, Eigen Rangers.
I like how they set up this escapade, though, with the lady who got away from the bad guys, because the assumption that no one can get away from the bad guys, but she did, and then Garibaldi confirms her story, and they make it all ominous. So, yeah. And it's funny because she looks like my mom, except she's different character.
She has great blue eyes.
She looks like Amanda Capping from Stargate.
Yep.
She does.
Yeah.
And Sanctuary. Don't forget Sanctuary, another good series.
Yeah. It's just funny. I always thought that was funny. It's like, oh, that's almost exactly what my mother looked like in the 90s, except she has brown eyes. So.
Yeah.
Wait, that's your mom?
Because this woman.
No, but she is very similar looking.
Because this woman was the reason that was talking about this. And it shows that a shadow ship has been buried and crashed on Mars for quite some time now.
Well,
and it shows just how far the Shadow War has gone.
But it leads back to a lot of the mysterious stuff that they gave hints about in the first season. Yes. And how I think even, if I remember correctly, even Sinclair may have run across part of this years ago. So there is a connection there, and that's one of the really cool things about this show, that you realize a lot of these characters, a lot of these particular people have had similar experiences and where it led them to this space station and to this very critical moment in time. And
what's funny was she goes like, it gave me nightmares forever, and then you see people down there just driving around in like little like the construction crews. They're just like driving around like it's nothing, and then she's like going like, it gave me nightmares.
Well, I think for people that still have a soul, for people that actually care, yeah, it'll give you nightmares. It's just
she's one of less than 10 people who survived. So. That's
fight or
part
flight.
of it too. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just funny to see the contrast, how she's saying that, and then like you see those guys down there just working like it's an everyday job.
Well, you see it every day. One person will jump and run from a spider while the other person comes up with their shoe and smacks it.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, you gotta need an
Except
awfully
this is a
big shoe.
big, right? This is a big spider.
You need a big goddamn shoe,
Mm-hmm.
like Jupiter.
I usually feed my spider, especially on the weekends.
Feed
Oh my
it to
God,
what?
you have a.
Growing
You
by
have
the
a
back. No, it catches the flies. It's kind of like big and kind of green now. It's been growing. I kind of like will like wave and like some of the flies. And I got a couple of videos of it like going in and everything. I'm like, whoa.
oh my
Kind
God.
of creepy.
I might
Just like Lord of the
actually
Rings.
puke.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, like, oh, it's not
No.
a bug. It's an arachnid.
It's no. It's a no. That's what it is. It's a no.
But
Archer
some
Collins-
people run and other people like it.
Archer Collins says, call back or forward to one of the comics with Sinclair and Garibaldi.
Yep.
Shane says, yes, I think Sinclair and Garibaldi on Mars saw something.
Mm-hmm.
Then follow up with Sinclair was with Garibaldi when they saw the shadow vessel. But that's fucked up. That means it's been on Mars the whole time. And like the best thing I can relate this is the way I saw this episode is like I played Destiny. And Destiny had a DLC recently. It was called Shadowkeep. And we were returning to the moon. And we eventually get through a mission where we're going into the depths of the moon. And eventually we find the darkness, an actual pyramid ship, the ship of the darkness, the ancient enemy. And this is kind of like the same forefront. And it means that even though something is buried, it doesn't mean it's affecting the things around it.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, they ripped off Babylon 5?
Maybe they probably got inspiration for it.
Yeah, because like aren't we like warlocks and rangers or whatever the hell?
Warlocks, Titans, and Hunters, yes. But this thing got woken up, and it just merciless everything around that was life form because it was just crazy.
Wasn't there like a fourth class they introduced or
no?
Angry shadow ship poning everything.
A crazy one, actually.
Yeah.
I want to know how Delenn knew that, because that was odd that Delenn knows something like that about the ship.
How specifically she knew how they functioned? Yeah, I wonder if that's just from text because she's a scholar.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I think the Minbari left a lot of
super old
text.
too.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it is oddly specific.
It is oddly specific. Like she knows someone has to be trained to go into the shadow ship.
Scholars.
Well, I mean, I think the last Great War, there's a lot of ancient texts from the Minbari that detail as much information as they were able to get out about what happened and what they learned. And of course, when you get to the end of a particular season, you also learn, other things.
Yes.
But the
Memes is losing it right now.
Dude, go on.
I just think that this is
so exciting.
He's expressing out like an autistic kid.
Yeah. Just look at that ship. Do you see a better ship anywhere in sci-fi than that?
No, you don't. But
Scarier ship? No.
I have a question though. Do you think the reason why Mr. Morden reached out to EarthGov is because he knew or was sent there because this was here and eventually they would find more?
Yes.
No, if the Shadows knew where that ship was, they would have come to get it long ago.
Well, as soon as they
buried
it, though, Keith, it was buried. It couldn't send out a signal. But as soon as they unburied it, remember, it sent out that signal, and the other one came out and freed it.
Yeah.
The Shadows are all about building connections. They want as many worlds with them as possible.
And like YouTube. So they're YouTube, pretty much.
That's life. Life is all about who you know.
Ships are scarier.
This is that part of the story that is very reminiscent in many ways of Lord of the Rings. Mm-hmm. So you see the darkness as it spreads and how many will fall under its sway. And,
so if you want to put this in pretense of Lord of the Rings, let's go for the films. For those who remember the films, this is pretty much a Balrog that was found in the depths after opening up the doors to Moira.
Yeah, well, and again, you have a lot of people that are tempted. This is all about the rings, also, You have a lot of people that have to go through that, and some who get tempted and are able to pull away, and others who get drawn in.
The question from Archer for, I guess, Keith or anyone else here is, wasn't this the one that they followed the Zahadum?
No.
The one from Mars, they did. The one from Io, they nuked.
Ganymede, I think.
Or Ganymede,
This one gets crushed, huh?
This is the second
Doesn't
ship.
this one get crushed?
Mm-hmm.
This
is
is
the one digging the other one.
This is the second ship that Earth wanted to keep for itself.
The first one pieced out, and this one they were kind of getting ready to take it, and Sheridan's like, "Not on my watch." I apologize.
So Archer, it was the one right before this one that was the one in the story
He
that
says "not on my watch" a lot. Is that his catchphrase?
I actually understand the meme now. I think it's ahead.
When she tells her story, the message from Earth, when she tells her story of what she saw, that ship is the one that they put a tracker on that went to Zahadum.
Yes.
She came to warn them about the second ship, which was around Jupiter. That's the one they nuked.
Yes.
Or let Jupiter do the job for them.
Oh, gotcha. No,
And the one I've been hinting about for quite a while.
Yeah, you did mention it like 2 episodes back about the book.
You are good.
The comic book, I believe.
No, it's actually the book. The comic book has something a little different, but it's. Give me just a sec. I'll look at the title for the book for you.
This series is just nonstop Easter eggs.
Yes. But that's like life.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, it's a lot like life. If you were to look back on all of the years and everything that brought you to this very point, you would figure out that there are certain Easter eggs that led you to this particular point. So,
it's terrifying.
That's life.
That's exactly how I got to this show. It's like one of my friends, she asked me, it's like, could you help me with my philosophy stuff? I'm like, I like philosophy. We have to watch The Expanse and kind of relate it. I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden it's like, we also have to like read or learn about these articles. I'm like Thomas Quine's 2 dogmas. Find a video, basically listen to like the whole paper on it and everything or whatever. And all of a sudden the very next day on Discord, I'm talking with some intellectual style people, and they were talking about like epistemology. And then I made a comment like, well, you must have studied a lot of epistemology. I'm like, no. But I listened to a YouTube video on Thomas Quine last night after watching The Expanse. It made me seem smart. And then Steven's like, would you like to learn about Babylon 5 and stuff like that? I'm like, what is it? It's like, it's a cool sci-fi series. Oh, I watched The Expanse. That was funny. It's like, yeah, they probably based a lot of it off that. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
Yeah.
Wow. See, but I mean, good television. That's really what it comes down to. And that's personally, that's all I've ever really wanted. It's just good TV. Well-told stories, solid characters, and just have a good time.
Yeah, and imagine they would give an important IP like this and have mystery things in it to someone who doesn't know how to fulfill mysteries, and just sort of throw some mystery boxes everywhere.
Abrams. Oh, sorry.
It's also the best marketing technique, because the more and more you get into it, the more and more you want to see. It's literally like Pokemon.
well, this is mystery box done right.
Yeah, it's because you're sort of figuring a lot of stuff out yourself, and you're learning things on your own as the show goes on too. And then you learn to look for things, and then when they sort of
yes. No, that's the thing, because sometimes they'll touch upon these things. It's like even certain things. It's like, all right, you got Ivanova, basically her favorite person and stuff. Yeah, kind of ain't around no more. It's like, wow, that really sucks. It's like, wait a second, did that? Huh, cool. Not a word said. Not a word said. And how much you communicate, and they even slightly no more spoilers.
Mm-hmm. It just This show has so much built into it, and again, it just comes down to you have an incredible showrunner who built an incredible writer's room, and just happened to have a really talented writer helped oversee everything. So if more shows would use that basic formula, I think we'd have more quality stuff on the air. So I'm always down for having very successful, well-read, and slightly controversial and very outspoken authors have come in to help, guide a writer's room. That works. It really, really works. Now, I don't think that JMS is going to do that for the rebooted Babylon 5, but it would be interesting to see which way he decides to go with that. But I'm very curious. I'm very, very curious.
I would love to see if he could bring back the 90s in this day and age without causing a detriment to what was, and can make something what will be great again.
I think he's looking at attempting to do something that even I think the task that he has set for himself, the high bar, really. I think that in and of itself will be something that will motivate him to do better, but to also tell a really cool story, because that really is that should really be the real reason why you do it.
I think JM, Keith, I'm going to add to you, I think JM, the only thing he doesn't want to fail is himself.
Yeah.
I think that and the fans and stuff, because he's always been connected with the community, and I think, and not to put any more pressure on the maestro, but if he pulls this off, if he does an excellent job, which I believe he totally can, I think this could completely reset the stage for a lot of the media that we see. Just seeing, because isn't he one of the last great writers, creators, directors, and stuff like that? When was the last time we had a Steven Spielberg movie or something like that? Because you had these certain folks, and now you got a lot of new guns out there, and very often it's you're working for a for-profit company, so you got to make money. So if you find something that kind of works that you're able to make money off of, they're following it. But if you start losing a lot of the base and it's not as interactive, if you could pull this off with Babylon 5, guess what? Again, collector's box sets, people. Collector's box sets, and come back out with new cards. Give people collector stuff. And if we actually start buying different merch and everything, all of a sudden it's there's a demand for this. Maybe if we do a good job, this would be something useful. If you don't do a good job, we're not going to be buying stuff.
Yeah. To me, this is the next great step, because this kind of a formula has already been done before. You've already had an instance where someone who originally created something was allowed to come back and do it again. But, and I'm talking about Roddenberry with The Next Generation, in a sense, which really was just a modified version of what he attempted to do with Star Trek Phase 2. This, though, is to take the entire concept by its original creator, and this time attempting to do something within that same universe, in a sense, or recreating that same universe using some of these characters and possibly telling a slightly different story. So that you create a very distinct version from what he originally was known as, because it would really be easy to take the same plot and same characters and just cast a whole new group of actors and tell that same story again, versus maybe telling a slightly different story and not using all of the same characters. So.
And this way too, he won't be ruining the original.
Yeah, it'll be a very distinct version, even though some of these characters will share the same name.
An alternate universe.
It's going to be an alternate timeline, because that's an easy thing that's set up in this series accidentally that they can keep running with.
What if Kate, you're right in a certain aspect, but what if it's going to be a different time, but maybe not? It's just going to be the abridged version.
Well, I would think that initially he's going to want to do his original story, and then whatever other timelines end up overlapping, like they do in this story, which could include one of these stories, and that would be very interesting to see. That I don't know why that wouldn't be. It seems like the most logical process, because he kind of was inadvertently thwarted with his original vision, but then made something very good anyway.
Maybe even altering certain characters or not having certain characters. For instance, I'm not saying that this is what he's going to do, but what I'm saying is, for instance, you could take and you have a John Sheridan, but you may not have a Garibaldi. You could have instead maybe let's have Zach Allen with a slightly different background, and then
and give him Garibaldi's arc and all that sort of thing.
Well, not necessarily. You could create an entirely different, but you could infuse Zach Allen with some of Garibaldi's qualities, but have a completely different background.
Essentially,
and story.
What you could do is, like with the first season, is have something happen in which Garibaldi's character is removed instead of Sinclair, and therefore Zach becomes gets the promotion and it carries on. Like those kinds of things are absolutely doable. Yes, exactly.
His coma, he never wakes up from, so he's transferred to an Earth Gov hospital until he dies.
Exactly.
And come back later on, and then it transitions through a different story.
But what I'm understanding is that there are even plot lines that are going to be different. In other words, he's not really going to use a lot of what he did this time around. What it is that, for instance, no Sinclair. It is just going to be John Sheridan, and probably he's looking at probably even no Delenn.
Does John Sheridan fight for the users though? Sorry.
And just sort of building, with this original series, I think what he's done is he's looked back to see what would be kind of like the easy stuff that he could do that would allow him to kind of take the easy way out. Having the Mollari, in a sense, is kind of easy. Maybe even having a version of Babylon 5 where you don't have the Mollari at all. And so you try to cut down on some of the races that allowed him to create shortcuts to be able to, learn things for a lot of the Earth-based characters. Okay, so you get rid of the Mollari. Maybe keep the Centauri.
I mean, they all do, though. They all have that kind of impact on Earth.
Yeah.
So that's that. I mean, I can understand you could pick and choose for the sake of cost, but ultimately, unless he specifically said, no, it's going to be a completely different thing and we're going in a different direction entirely, I would not be surprised if he just takes the original draft, tweaks it enough, and then makes it an alternate timeline.
I think you're going to see kind of like the same kind of, sorry to cut you off, Keith, kind of like you're going to see probably like similar things. It's just like you're kind of changing the people and just kind of like the flow of what's happening. Because I just kind of view it as just in the way I kind of see it. It's like, all right, you kind of got the universe traversing throughout there. And then let's just say at some point, if we were, I don't know, maybe existing within the hologram of some grand hypersphere or something like that, eventually you come to a point in the vortex, everything kind of gets scrambled and you come out again. I'm just saying this is a different universe as far as we know it, but essentially kind of the same multiverse.
Yeah. But I mean, what I got from some of the things that he's been putting on Twitter is that there are certain even storylines that'll probably be different for this. They may not have the whole thing with the Earth. I mean, with EarthGov and the whole war with the president and President Clark and all that stuff. They may cut that out. And you may not have the
Mollari war. Yeah, that's a huge change.
You may not even have the Mollari as a species within this series. To completely just find a different way of telling this story. In fact, you may not even be looking at a 5-year story arc. To find a completely different way, have certain things be familiar, but to change whole swaths of what this is. so that it's almost like a completely different show, even though it has elements of the same thing. And even certain characters that share names may be different. So you could have a John Sheridan, but he's done in a way where he's more like Sinclair, or even more like Ivanova. You see what I mean? You could make those changes. And I think he's really trying to challenge himself. And I'm very interested to see what he does. You know, I'm sure there will be those people that will be very unhappy with it. But I also understand if he goes that direction, what he's attempting to do, because it has to be something that first and foremost, your showrunner has to be really into this. Okay? You cannot have somebody that's sleepwalking. You cannot have somebody that's going to attempt to do this and that's just like by the numbers, because you spend a long time making these types of shows, and if you don't love it, there's no reason to do it. You're just wasting time.
Good luck to you, Keith.
So,
yep. Honestly, as far as that, the set decorator might be the most difficult person to find. Literally, it might be, because unless they're going to essentially copy pasta SpaceX, I don't know what they think they could do. Because on a budget with like that, they'll probably have.
Yeah, well, he says that the budget's going to be bigger than what they dealt with originally.
Right, but that doesn't necessarily mean it'll be good, because it'll go.
Yeah, true.
It won't be as smart. I'll put it that way. It won't be. It may not be as smart, because there's a lot of things in this that, unless you are a weirdo like me, you have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm still trying to.
We're going to want to work on it. So.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, one of the things that Straczynski did that was really kind of cool was working with JPL with a lot of the technological stuff that they had on this show. And given where we are right now compared to where we were in the 90s.
Yeah.
That very well could be. But I mean, given where we are now technologically versus where we were in the 80s going into the 90s, I think he could pull off some radically different stuff. There are more things that we...
What if they get Elon Musk to get involved in the show? That'd be kind of cool.
Oh, great, because that's all we want. Just the tip fucking rocket launches falling from the sky.
Yeah, penis missiles.
Oh, my God.
Elon
Musk is Mr. Morden.
Unless they get William Shatner to either play a Vorlon or fucking Captain Sheridan. Nah.
That's possible. They could bring in William Shatner.
George Takei can play the shadows. Sorry.
He'd be like going, "Oh my!"
I just think that this is definitely going to be one of those shows where I think you're right. There are going to be a lot of people that are going to want to get in on this.
Cool, George, but he's just like overbearing now. He's like an embarrassment.
I think there are going to be a lot of actors and actresses that are going to want to be a part of this, and considering how many shows that are going away real soon. There are a lot of shows who are in their final season. There are going to be a lot of actors and actresses in Hollywood that are going to probably be fighting for parts in this show. And even if they don't become part of the main cast, they're going to want to be on it. You know, so there's a lot of talent.
Page and then look at who he's following, and then look at the potential actors on there.
I think he's smarter than we give him credit for. I don't think he's going to want to give away too much. He is a very smart poker player. You know, I really do think that what we learn will be what he wants us to know.
Which makes me think I'm even more right, though.
But it's weird.
So
he's following Sarah Michelle Gellar, and he doesn't have anything. He's never done anything with her.
I just say go in with faith, but not expectations.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we still have the original B5, the books, the comics, the fan fiction if you want to go there.
Yeah, this is just an add-on.
I will.
You don't.
And I understand. I've heard people talk about this when we covered this a couple of weeks ago. They're afraid that this shit is going to turn out like Kurtzman Trek. They're afraid it's going to turn out like Disney and Marvel and Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're always afraid of our memories being tarnished, we will never accept anything new that could be grand. They can't take away our memories. All they can do is disrespect the shit to come. But it will never be what it was.
I think that this time around, now that more people have actually had a chance to experience this, a lot more people have been introduced to what Babylon 5 is. It is a known quantity. I think JMS will be attempting to try to do better than what is expected this time around.
Well, Keith, I like to add, I know a lot of people have pretenses when it comes to JM's comic books or recent shit there, here and there. But if you take out your bias and read how he's approaching people, it's done with respect.
Mm-hmm. No. That's what I mean.
No. I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying is there's a lot of people out there that are throwing this, and that, but it's because of the perception of how they're reading it. This is the biggest problem when it comes to the social media aspect, when it comes to the like Twitter or YouTube or even this live stream. It's very impersonal. Sure, we can go on camera. Sure, memes can shave his beard, but it doesn't have the same aspect of sitting across the table from a friend, sharing a beer, sharing a plate of nachos, going to a movie, because we're not feeling not only them around us, the eye contact, and the actual human response.
Yeah.
And we can't keep going at everything negative. We can't keep going at everything as woke or disrespectful. We have to start going in with blank slate.
Mm-hmm.
Blank slate, which means our own bias. Go in with a pro and con list if you need be, Siskel and Ebert style. Figure out what you like and what you dislike and see what outweighs which, and whether or not it's going to change over the season.
And
Don't
that's the thing.
hurt things before they happen.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that kind of like goes right along with that is just being able to separate the art from the artist. It's like you may not like what another person says, does, or even thinks, but it's like, all right, well, I thought we weren't supposed to judge a book by its cover. I thought we weren't supposed to like give our ratings and say how good or bad something's going to be simply because we happen to agree with some of the things that some of the folks in there said, or we disagree with that. It's like that sounds like petty stuff that we attribute to children.
Yeah.
And I think even children can see through at times. And if we're big children, I say we can do it too.
But memes, we're at a point now where even children are smarter than adults. You want to know why? Because they maintain the innocence. And when the people start attacking the innocence, they take away the free form of thought and the ability to base one's opinion. And it's even more so whether you're on social media, your YouTube channel, your Twitch channel, your Facebook channel, or even a goddamn channel on fucking Dextro or whatever. The more people who rather assume than talk things out and figure out the character of the person behind that, the more you're going to lose than you are to gain. Gain for the lifetime and not for the moment. And I speak for that from honest experience. Whether it's this show, I am proud to know everyone on my panel. I am proud to see everyone in my chat. I am proud to call them friend, ally, and family in a way. Sure, we can have our shitstorms, but I can still rely on them to listen and also expect me to listen back. And we have to give that to JM. We have to give that to Babylon 5. Because if we're constantly always fearing the worst, you've already created an echo chamber.
Yeah.
And I will not kneel to that fucking weakness.
A lot of people have lost the art of compartmentalizing.
Yep.
In particular in the last 4 or 5 years, because of how they were super excited for all the new things and they were incredibly let down. And I understand that objectively many things are bad because the wrong kinds of persons and professionals got the job when they probably shouldn't have. That's reasonable. But even so, being able to compartmentalize people's personal lives versus what the art they create it's like non-existent anymore, and it's very unfortunate. and considering like political theater is a hobby of mine. I know I'm sick. It's fine.
Not sick.
No.
You asked a brilliant question during that interview with Patricia, and it hit her in a way that made her tear up. I don't think that at all.
Well, yeah, but that has nothing to do with
What I'm
politics.
saying,
Like I said,
I know, but I'm trying to say just as a generalization.
Oh, okay.
The person's attributes of uniqueness doesn't make them a weirdo or anything.
Okay. Well, I mean, to that specific moment,
Unless
yeah.
you're doing
I mean,
like puppetry with like frog corpses in a pit of like bacon bits and shit. Then
what the actual fuck?
I don't know. Just to get a laugh. Just to get a laugh. I'm sorry.
I was actually interested in that.
Don't forget your butter.
But that's still a good point, because obviously Miss Tallman and I have probably next to nothing in common except looking similar, and but we have a passion for art and different kinds of art, and that is something that people don't like talking about as much as they should, at least on an enjoyment level versus a critiquing level. And I'm all for critiquing. That's great. You can do that. There's ways to do that appropriately, but most people don't know that because most people never had art class.
Well, I mean, you can critique things, just try to be creative about it, and
Yeah.
you don't need to say what everyone else is saying, because, I mean, isn't that just kind of like the definition of, like, virtue signaling?
I suppose. See, I don't keep up with stuff like that. Yeah, I get what your point, and I don't keep up with the hoopla as much.
Things tend to come full circle.
Mhm.
That's all.
Is now the time where I decided to drop my pants and start saying, "Oh, gray man, she ain't what she used to be"?
I mean, you can't show that here. We need to go.
That's a Simpsons. It's a Simpsons reference. I'm sorry.
Okay. I
Old gray
probably
man.
only heard
Don't
half
Kate, I'm sorry for being a weirdo. I'm a random.
No, I think I only heard half the sentence, so I didn't pick up on the reference.
Well, drop pants is probably something I don't want to repeat, so I won't.
What?
Social media has turned a lot of people into narcissists who think they're right about everything.
I think a lot of them were already narcissists, personally.
Well,
It is
get
a
confirmed.
Yeah.
Hello, Catman, or should I say, Dee Myers?
Dee
Hope
Myers,
your wife's doing well.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Dee Myers, you have been in the background. You've listened, whether on replay or live. I hope your family is doing well. I hope your wife is doing well, and you are doing more than enough than anyone else could ever ask for. Thank you.
Yeah, take care of the family, Dee Dee.
I just, again, I have had a lot of fun discussing all this with you guys, and it's going to be even more fun once the new Babylon 5 gets here, because I think everyone on this panel, heck, everyone right now watching us, are going to be waiting to see what this is going to be. And for me, I will admit, my initial reaction to the news was not the best.
No, it wasn't.
But I've come around.
I had the same reaction as you, because my first thought was like, Harlan Ellison isn't with us anymore. The original show traded writers with DS9 a lot of the time, and Star Trek doesn't have good writers right now. But I think that JMS has learned a lot in the past. I think he's not going to waste a second chance at all.
No.
And I think there's a lot of writers that could help out with the show that are hungry to do something meaningful right now. Because there's a lot of garbage.
For the experience.
Just the experience, too. And television shows are basically built on an assembly line currently. And this is not going to be one of those shows.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping it's gonna draw in a lot of very smart people and a lot of people who are hungry to do something the correct way, the way they used to do. Make people think while entertaining them.
I think this is also going to be one of those shows that's going to be very dependent on its fan base, on us getting the word out and letting people know, if the show really is worth the time, and I think it will be.
Like another Expanse.
I think this will be something that is going to be one of those things where it's going to be very dependent or partially dependent on us getting out there and championing the show and having a positive attitude about the whole thing, and trying to help them expand their fan base this time around. Mm-hmm. I know I'll definitely, if they decide to go the whole route with the books and comics and whatever else they produce, I'm definitely going to be down for trying to get as much of that stuff as possible. And I'm thinking they may even try to even redo the merchandise, so that the merchandise for this new show will be different than what they originally had.
New logo and everything.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I think that might be a good indication. Like, if they do keep really, really subtle things similar enough, like the font, then it could be a nod to, like, yeah, this is different, but it's still the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, small things like that make a big difference, and they do psychologically too. So,
paying homage while differentiating that this is not OG Babylon 5. This is Babylon 5 in 2022,
it's like,
which is 2020, whatever.
Right. It's like well, Helvetica is like the most important font in the world.
Most used font, yeah.
Most used, yeah. It is. However, if it wasn't for Futura, it probably wouldn't exist. Because that's Arial Bold isn't as old as Helvetica.
I'm totally geeking out right now.
I know, right?
It's my personal preference.
I do UI design. And fonts are a big part of my job.
It is a big deal. So that's like those little things.
I'm sweating eager to eat right now.
I need a Fat Stevenseagal font. Get to it.
I think it already exists. It's like
something for my creator
code or whatever.
Yeah. Very bubbly.
Just don't use Comic Sans for the love of everything.
Fuck no. I'll use Wingdings before I use fucking Comic Sans.
Comic Sans and Times New Roman are a pox on the earth.
They are. A lot of people hate Papyrus, but I love Papyrus.
Call it your
Never thought I'd be in this kind of conversation, and I'm glad that I am. Definitely. I mean, I'm serious.
Let me just push up my spectacles while we talk about font.
This is just amazing to be in this conversation with you guys.
I feel like we just pulled out our stamp collections.
I want to say another thing, though. As much as we're being in this conversation, I'm glad the chat is here for this conversation.
Yeah.
We might not ever talk on a panel together, maybe now on this show or not, but you guys are pretty much our Babylon 5 family. And I'm not using that as like, he called us family. We're going to get an allowance. I mean, you give us your time to listen to us, participate, talk. I just hope we return that with all the time you give us.
There you go.
Whether you're watching this now or in the future, whether you just popped in to drop a like, to say hi and peace out to another stream, or you've had us on the background for the past 2.5 hours, brought to you by Mumberry Juice and Master Grifter. Don't leave home without it. The thing is, we are all connected. We're all influencing each other here. It's like people's different things have kind of changed. There are other people in the chat are pointing things out. It's like, really? Isn't this kind of like, I don't know, the old B5 forums where J. Michael Straczynski was interacting with the community? It's almost like, okay, I can't do everything. I'm not God. I don't know all these things, but I can talk to people that talk to people that talk to people. Just say.
Yep.
This is just fun, and yeah. This is what I enjoy most about doing this kind of thing with this kind of quality show. I enjoy the hell out of this show, and I'm hoping I'm gonna do the same with the new version. You know,
I'll put in the good word so that black dress makes a reoccurrence, just for you.
As far as I understand, this is the #1 rated standard Babylon 5 Monday show on YouTube.
Wow!
Hooray!
There's a lot for my ego.
We're at the leading edge of this, Keith. Thank you for guiding us.
Hey, I'm just a guy doing a thing. That's it.
Bull
That's
fucking shit. Because from day one, after the first time we ever did Babylon 5, when we were in the back room talking for hours after the show ended, I told you. Some people, I don't know who was there when we did this, but I said you're a storyteller, Keith. You have the ability to not only grab people's ears and attention, but explain things in a way that people want to stay around and learn more, no matter what's going on in reality. And that is shown to this day.
Keith can also
Last
put
week
up with
he messaged
people
me
like
saying he
me. It's very telling.
All I'm saying is that everyone on this panel and in the chat has a quality that makes the show push on forward. Tickle Trunk fucking reactivated his goddamn Twitter for fuck's sakes, and now wants to be on once in a while. But like,
well, I got my Twitter back.
Yeah, Keith, you're a storyteller. Don't let anyone take that away from you. I experienced that firsthand when you talked to us about the people on the bottom level of the Comic-Con who just want to be listened to, talked to, acknowledged, and noticed. And you're doing that now with Babylon 5. And if you can't take that as some type of respect for how you are as a person, I got nothing else to say.
I appreciate it. I do. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. Every week when we do this, to hear how you guys talk about the show, that means something to me personally.
Keith, you could put me down as a reference for showrunner, although you should totally list somebody more qualified than me as a reference.
Look, I'm flabbergasted at how all of you react to this, and I'm appreciative. I'm looking forward to completing the rest of this with you guys, and also enjoying the new Babylon 5 that comes our way. I'm hoping that this will be successful enough to allow JMS to do other things within this universe. I would really, really love to see him get the opportunity to make the big screen movie that he always wanted to make.
Yeah.
With Babylon 5, as far as the Telepath War. Because that would be...
I just want a new IP that hasn't been ruined yet.
Yeah. Like intelligent entertainment. And I've come to think of you all as really cool, knowledgeable friends.
Oh,
who are just.
Thank fuck you never called me intelligent. I'd never get over that. I thought that's where this was going. I was getting nervous.
All of you are. You're just fun people, and I can't think of a better way to spend a Monday. Great way to begin the week.
I actually want to kind of bring a kind of reality to this. It's kind of outside the box. And I want to ask Chad to give a moment of respect. I've been up since pretty much 6 o'clock this morning. 6 o'clock this morning. As a promise to my dad. My dad lost a friend of 25 to 30 years today due to assisted suicide. Due to cancer. It traveled through his jaw. He was diagnosed in February. I promised my dad this morning I would share a shot of brandy with him to respect the memory of the loss of his friend. I'm not going to ask for condolences. I'm asking for just one thing, the prayer emoji in the chat for his friend, his lost, and his memory. The thing with loyalty when it comes to a stream, a chat, friends, even like this, a show, is you respect the memory of what was and what will be. I share a drink to him. I've met him a few times. My dad has been heartbroken pretty much all weekend. And that's all I ask for this show and stuff. And I thank you. We all have our shitty days. We all have our shitty weeks. But every Monday, this makes the rest of the week go fucking much faster and much happier. And I can't thank you guys enough, whether you're on the panel or in the chat.
Thank you.
It's been a hard year for a lot of us.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to bring that reality out. But
Oh man, thank you for hosting this and everything. I mean, this is essentially the platform. The fat-stevenseagal channel is where we can actually like escape and actually enjoy an IP that we actually have that's being able to be shared around. It's something that it seems so far away, but we actually can do it.
I have been there for my dad, but I also want to say thank you to Pod Racing Palpatine, if you're listening, for get beers for you and your dad. I got him a beer, and when I told him where it came from, he was kind of shocked. That's all I ask for you guys tonight. Thank you. And we're going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep doing this.
Yeah.
Well, I
especially.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean.
No. I'm just saying this is an advanced preview of what the final episode's going to do to a lot of you guys when you get to it.
Yeah.
So be prepared, because start collecting all your tissues now, because you're going to go through every single box you own.
Fuck that. Real people don't cry with tissues. They wipe it on their sleeve with their snot. Fuck that.
I've already cried through several of these episodes, Keith. How dare you?
Yeah,
I'm just telling you now.
What are you, some kind of Nancy? Use your sleeve like a real person.
I don't have sleeves.
And I thank you guys for all of that.
Sorry.
Pod Racing, he was kind of shocked. He also might switch beers because of that too, because they gave him the wrong beer and he likes the other one better. And Aiken, thank you for being on. Let me check this quickly, because I've been keeping track, because we're like 4 or 5 away till a new emoji.
Woo.
And you are member number 47. Thank you.
Cool. Who's going to be the new emoji, or what? Do you have plans?
The new emoji is pretty good at being much.
Beers?
No, I don't think it's going to be beer. We've done one for Petty Pete. I revamped it because, that was funny.
Yeah.
But I think the next emoji is probably just going to be the Babylon 5 station.
Oh, that'd be cute.
Yeah. And with that, Aiken, thank you for supporting the channel. And I'm trying to find a video just for you, and I think everyone wants some of these.
All I want is some sweet new balls.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, clean your ears out, woman. I want some balls.
Thank you, everyone.
Hey, we're here for you, buddy.
That's all it is. I'll screenshot this and send my dad and be like, what the fuck does that emoji mean? Like, Mr. Miyagi, fucking Karate Kid. That's it. Other than that, yeah, this show's been great. We've been doing. This is the longest show we've had. We're almost 3 hours, guys. This is a great comeback.
Oh wow. Well then, let's just get to it. I mean, how does everyone rate this particular?
Is there anything in this episode that we missed? Because that was a big tangent.
A lot of details.
I don't know if we covered everything.
Oh yeah. Sheridan went He-Man to the station and everything, and then they got the Shadow Cruiser to crash, and then all of a sudden the freaking giant Earth Force Andromeda, Agamemnon, or whatever.
Agamemnon, that's the captain.
Yeah, getting ready to blow them up. And then they pieced out, and then it basically said, "Oh yes, we destroyed this vessel there," even though he just jumped in the atmosphere.
Prefacing the meeting with this lady who knows all the things, he had to make a hard choice secretively, and then he goes and does this in street clothes, which is very important and foreshadowing. So stay tuned, kids.
And Night Watch begins to suspect.
Oh yeah, they get extra shady with that.
Cole brings a chart to Ivanova. Yeah.
No, you guys are forgetting one thing though. This stream was brought to you by Master. Don't steal content without it. Go fuck yourselves. I love this fucking joke. And Stella Burpus. Those underwear used to be white.
I agree with Dust Wolfen as far as his rating for this one. And let me just say, Dust Wolfen, what I said earlier especially goes for you, young man. Yeah. So
I give it a 9.
I definitely give it an 8.5. I also give a 0.5 to the poll, because I never thought that we would tie with an hour late and tomorrow, which was a very far.
Yeah, but an hour late still wins, so I still win.
Actually, both correct.
Shane, mine's not till tomorrow, and it's midnight there. Happy birthday! Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, it is tomorrow for this order. Yeah, that's what the mystery stream was that I removed because I had to reformat. Thank you. Yeah. Don't make awkward silence, guys. Come on, man. I say those.
There's an important thing that happens at the very end of this episode.
The credits?
Oh yeah.
At the very last thing at this episode, you have Night Watch, wheeling and dealing, and then Marcus shows Ivanova the chart to cheer her up.
Yes.
But the very last shot and the very last scene of this episode, President Clark declares martial law.
Oh, yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
beginning. And now, kids,
that is very important for the next episode.
That's right. We are in it.
Oh, and then that's the one where David Arquette's dad is like his
Wait,
commander.
are you spoiling?
Don't spoil shit. What the fuck, Monkey? I will bitch slap you out of
We're
here.
still on the air. End the show before we spoil too much.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'd say 11 because it's my favorite episode in the whole series.
I love it.
Really?
It is. It really.
Really?
It has like all my favorite things. Like it's not.
What are
even
your favorite
something-
things?
I love the whole fuck the systemness of Sheridan in general as a character, but then like you get to see it in action for the first time really now, and then like the fight scene is super clever, and I appreciate that they do actual science in real time and trying to not die. I love that, and it's not even a sci-fi trope, but any of the sci-fi things I saw as a kid, it always has the romanticized Rain's context in it somewhere. So that's like it's literally my favorite part.
Hand holding The Sound of Rain and Delenn's puppy dog eyes.
I would like
I'm not
to.
attracted to Delenn, so like I'm not sure where you're going with that.
Icosahedron explains a lot.
There's a special shout out to Monkey. Thank you for joining us usually. Thank you for the first episode ever where you're not ruffling papers. I definitely gotta give you props too. You can joke with us just as much. Please don't kill me. Are you there?
Huh?
Monkey?
Yeah. Can you hear
get
me?
the joke?
Yeah.
It was, I'm like, that's the worst joke ever. He's not laughing. He's like, Steven's going on the kill list. Billy Madison.
I'm not Steve Buscemi sitting on my bed putting on lipstick.
Oh, really? What shade do you wear? I think you're more of like a violet or magenta kind of guy.
He's crossing out your name right now.
He's like, Sephora, I need a killing lipstick.
I like Admiral Blue.
Ooh.
That's the fifth time today, Keith.
That was my Trans Am color.
It's weird seeing memes blush and have dimples. It's really weird.
How dare you? How dare you?
Look how red he's turning.
You
Yeah.
Full
Is there
screen.
any ladies in the chat that want to pinch?
No,
Yeah, full screen that man.
No, he's hiding again. He's like, hey, ladies, do you want to pinch those dimples and tell them how much of a one-punch man memes can be?
Is that a compliment though? Really?
Well, he has a blue-eyed white dragon sealed below.
Nobody is pointing out the irony of me, all except myself, of Beard. He changed his icon. Oh, it's different than what it normally is. My brain is twisting into it. If you can wrap it around the plank mass, that explains a lot. God, I want to see. Oh my God, I'm going to start tweeting science.
Well, the lack of
Okay,
pink
Michael
shades is
Straczynski.
what really bothers me. Personally, I think you need pink shades, not your.
I
eye
had
dogs.
to go buy these at the 5 and Below the other day. So I broke my other glasses again. I go out there and I spend $5 every 3 months after I break them.
Memes stands outside Dollar Trees trading like conversations of mimetic theory for like a chocolate bar. I bet.
Hey, that's basically what 5 and Below is.
No. The craziest thing is kind of what I'm trying to do with modern mimetic theory in general combined with classic mimetic. All I know is Dr. Stephen Wolfram, the guy from Wolfram Alpha that literally, it's the thing that runs Alexa and Siri and stuff. So like when you ask your standard AI assistant a question, rather than just Googling it, it's like, it's utilizing the Wolfram Alpha computational language there to naturally figure out exactly what you're trying to find. He literally created the field today of ruleology. He's been trying to think of a
Half
name.
wolf and half ram.
It's basically defining the basic rules that basically end up making up like the meta of basically everything. Like, what are these basic things? It could be just like your interactions with a person. It could be like space time, this and that. What are the generalized rules? And he's like, I am a proud rulologist. And I'm like, oh my God, it showed that the power of the internet, like Bodie McBoatface, this is like the rulologist. It's like, it's so blatant, it's so obvious, but it's so perfect. And why do we do this? Because we can.
I love you, memes, for not breaking.
I love the internet.
Wow. I love the fact that he didn't break a smile or break sense while I kept throwing in. I love this man.
Well, we separate the art from the artist. It's
Oh
like,
my God,
you
he has better hair than
you do a thing. You just point out what's going on. Some people don't point out certain things because, I don't know, maybe it makes them feel uncomfortable. I ruin everything.
That was memes of destruction. We got to start. What are you putting in my chat, dude?
That's literally how Thad Roberts basically solved modern field theory. He used that calculator.
He's half wolf and half ram. Okay,
what is this, Keith, that you're sharing with us right now?
I used that website to solve for the plank time the other day. I did a video on it.
So he's
88 miles per hour.
So it's not 55 anymore? Okay, cool. Gotcha.
What happened?
Sorry. Said it's not 55 anymore. It's 88.
Which Marty McFly
That's Back to
needed
the
to
Future.
drive it. No shit.
If you type in flux capacitor AutoZone, O'Reilly Auto Parts actually has a part number for it.
Oh my God! Did you really just try to explain to me that it was Back to the Future? Really? I love you so much.
On top of that, here's another really cool thing. You go to Wolfram Alpha and type in your birthday.
Oh, fun. Okay.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doxing myself. What the fuck is that shit?
You don't have to do it online. You can do it for yourself. But type in your birthday.
Just put it in a random date.
Month, day, year.
Fucking get hacked.
Put in your month, day, year, and see what comes up. It'll break down exactly how many days you've actually been alive.
Hey Keith, your lipstick was actually a film.
Oh jeez.
Hi, Mom.
I know exactly how many.
What's being displayed to you right now doesn't explain a lot in a pretty concise manner.
Yeah.
If Albert Einstein had this, if Professor Einstein had it, I'm just saying, technology, people, going back to basic principles, you can do a lot with that.
You know, Beams, you see how the side panel on the back wallpaper of the stream right now, you see how you have a beard there and your tongue sticking out? I'm not fucking changing that.
That's fine.
I'm not changing that at all. Bastard.
I mean, it's just no beard or everything else.
Memes is great. Love to hate him or love him.
I have a very punchable face, or at least I just assume that of myself.
No, you don't have a punchable face. You look like a very beautiful man.
Why, thank you.
It'll hurt more now. There's no beard to cushion the blow.
How am I supposed to turn on his jaw?
This is, I feel, is my more evil form. So I'm just letting you know. It's more like my supervillain form. I'm not saying that Keith has inspired me, even though I haven't watched the end of basically Babylon 5 yet. I'm like, if I was to do a story, if we were going to break the multiverse and go into the deep lore of the deep lore, what would the final scene be? And I have it played out in my head. It's such a beautiful thing. And it includes sciencey stuff. We can end the show now.
So evil
chill.
Memes kind of looks like Loki.
A little.
Loki has a
hypersphere.
No, Loki from
the actor,
Avengers.
you mean?
Yeah.
Tom Hiddleston?
I think it's the hair.
You have similar facial structure, I guess. Perhaps.
Right. We should probably start wrapping up. I know people have to eat dinner. It is 7:30. Don't apologize. This has been a 3-hour show. This is probably the longest one, and I want to thank everyone here. Anything to add?
Our pleasure.
Thank
you.
Not really. I mean, it's been another fun episode with all of you guys, and I just want to tell my parents, yes, all of these people are my friends.
And alibis.
And importance.
But next week is going to be different. Arwen Avalon's Darius is joining us for episodes 9 and 10.
Without import charges.
So, without import charges. That's right, you son of a bitch. Sorry, I'm kidding. Mr. Son of a bitch. Author son of a bitch. But
that's better.
We're going to make sure we
paid
don't
the duty with comics.
I'm the mister.
We're going to make sure we don't traumatize him. We're going to welcome him in. And we're going to keep doing the same shit we always do. Because, in the words of Loki, my brother from Valhalla, we do not kneel. And we definitely do not kneel to your fucking weakness. That is my fucking channel statement now. Have a great night. Have a drink. Have a good dinner. Go find a channel you love watching and have fun.
I'm spoopy now.
Fuck this goddamn Canadian. Jesus Christ.
Hey,
I'm a skinny bub.
Canadian.
All right. Hold on. Let's do it now. Come on, Tickle Trunk. Come on, do it now. You bald cat motherfucker.
I'm a skelly bub.
Is that it?
Yeah.
He's adorable.
I'm dressed up like the goons from Karate Kid.
Oh, that's a costume.
There you go. Now you're sitting on your face. Now I'm sitting on your face.
On my face.
Wait. Where'd that cloud come from? Have you been eating beans?
Getting the hair in his teeth.
It's a Taco Bell cloud.
Somebody needs to shade that a little bit. We've got a new meme.
Oh boy.
Everyone, we're gonna fall out. We're gonna drop out, and with that, the end of the stream.
Get me off the screen.
What was that?
Get me off the screen.
And I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. I said, ooh, I'm drowning in the night. Oh, when I'm like this, you're the one I trust.
9 and 10 next week. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for questioning your reality and your sanity while watching us.
Oh, the city's cold and empty. No one's around to judge me. I can see clearly when you're
Shadow asks,
on and I
what
said,
do you want? Orlok asks, who are you? Meme asks, do you like turtles?
I'm drowning in the night. Oh, when I'm like this, you're the one I trust. I'm just going back to like you know. I can never say it on the phone. We'll never let you go this time. I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch.
Tomorrow morning, birthday stream. I'll just put something on. I don't fucking care. See you soon, guys.
I said, ooh, I'm drowning in the night. Oh, when I'm like this, you're the one I trust.
Fat-Stevenseagal does